What's up, gamers? Aaron Shack here, and we're going to be covering the Destiny 2 showcase live stream. There is a little bit of a pre-show that's starting up here in about a minute and a half, and then I guess the meat and potatoes of the show will be a little later. So I'm excited to kind of see everything they're going to offer here, so I thought, why not? Let's see what they show here in the pre-show coverage. We can have discussions and look over some stuff. Highly anticipated stuff that's coming to the game. Destiny 2's The Final Shape will be revealed today, which is sort of the conclusion of the Light and Dark saga that they've been building on for just about the past 10 years at this point. So, I mean, everything's really coming to a head. We're probably wondering, is this it for Destiny, or is there something coming next after this? Does Destiny sort of live on without the light and darkness? Like, does something different happen, or does... I don't know. It's hard to say. It could go either way. But welcome to the stream. Thank you for watching, listening, and we'll see them hit the live button any moment now. Might just refresh here. Sometimes these things don't work exactly right, but I think we have about a minute more than the countdown. But yeah, very excited for this, and I'm gonna have a couple of surprises to show you guys live on stream, so stay tuned for that. I have two special items. And don't forget to like the video if you're enjoying the content here on the channel. Showcase is going to be pretty awesome, I'm expecting. Going to share out stuff to Twitter. Alright, we'll give it a minute, and then I will show up. But yeah, it looks like they're just getting things in order. And then later today, I'm going to be covering the opening night live, which is a part of Gamescom. That's going to be at about 1 p.m. Central. And opening night live, Gamescom 2023, a lot of exciting games that we're either going to see like reveals or trailers or just kind of sort of updates on various projects that we've heard from before. It's not necessarily going to be like loaded full of world premieres and brand new stuff that we've never seen before. I think Jeff was kind of just tempering expectations. It's really more about what's coming, this season and in the immediate future. There might be a few surprises here and there, but for the most part, just, set your expectations there accordingly. As far as Destiny, I really have no clue. I imagine they'll give us a scoop on what, the next season of the game looks like, as today is the final day for Season of the Deep, which I've I enjoyed the introduction. I just was not able to get, too deep into it. I just sort of, if the story isn't really pushing me forward and it's not engrossing, and if there's a lot of like side content pulling me away, then it really distracts. Like I just feel like their seasonal storylines don't have the pull of an expansion or a even the vanilla storyline. Like you always kind of know where to go and what to do, and there's a very clear path forward, and it's usually not littered with little bits where it's like go over here and fish for 30 hours, and then come back. They don't give you like weird obscure things to go do for a long time. But yeah, we're just waiting for them to queue up the live stream here. They're doing a little bit of a pre-show. So we'll hang tight for a moment here. I'm going to double check and make sure that there's no announcements here. All right, I'm going to get some coffee while we wait here. I keep frantically refreshing the page. But yeah, maybe they're just running late. So yeah, hang tight for a sec, and we should be good in a moment. Alright, nothing yet. So, there's kind of what it looks like. Yeah, maybe they're just running late to their... Just gonna double check our times here. Yeah, pre-show. Okay, it should be starting. I don't know. So we'll give it a couple minutes. But I do have some things that I want to look at here. My silly camera that won't stop moving even though I've tightened that post a dozen times. Let's see here. Yeah, I've got a look at here. They dropped this on the 18th, so just a couple days ago. Cookies. Season 22's artifact perks preview. I thought we'd kind of take a look at this. Armor Team wants to push the boundaries of how a seasonal artifact can enable you to customize your playstyle every season, unlocking more moment-to-moment gameplay decisions and new build possibilities. Inspired by the success of Strand Tangles, the team worked hard to develop a new sandbox features we've dubbed Elemental Orbs, a set of artifact perks that will allow players to create these orbs when they defeat enemies with arc, solar, or void weapons. What's up, Cress? How you doing? And I talk to Killer. I don't know. I gotta come up with like a nickname for you there. Maybe just Killer. Call you Killer. But yeah, they haven't started their pre-show, so I thought we'd take a look at this week in Destiny. Their latest article here on the artifacts. So yeah, orbs that will be elemental. Interesting. Can be picked up by any player. Wait, by any player? Like versus players? We'll need to get more specific here. Thrown to create an elementally aligned explosion that also jolts, scorches, or applies volatile, depending on the element of the orb. I would think other teams wouldn't be able to pick it up, so I think we're good. Certain perks deeper in the artifact also have various behaviors that trigger off these orbs and strand tangles, including one that rewards you when allies steal or borrow the ones you make. Oh no. So rewards you if allies steal or borrow. Wow. Okay. Anti-barrier auto rifle. Always like that. Piercing bowstring. I like that. We'll go down the first column first. Unstoppable scout rifle. Okay. Overload hand cannon. Okay, these are all dope. Unstoppable fusion. You know what? Those are all weapons that I use pretty regularly. Arc Strand Siphon combo combines the Arc and Strand Siphon mods into one. Solar Strand Siphon combo. Void Strand. Origin perk specialization 1. Greatly improves the benefits provided by the Head Rush, Nanotech Tracer rockets, Unsated Hunger, and Redacted Origin traits. Diviner's discount. All scavenger mods are discounted. Alright. Thanatotic Tangles. Strand weapon final blows have a chance to generate a tangle. Oh, that's dope. Alright. Origin perk specialization 2. Weapons with the Head Rush, Nanotech Tracer rockets, Unsated Hunger, and Redacted Origin traits are always overcharged when that modifier is active. Elemental Orbs Void. While using a Void weapon, final blows have a chance to spawn a Void Elemental Orb. Void Orbs can be thrown to create a Void Explosion. Okay. That makes enemies, it damages volatile. Elemental orbs. While using an arc subclass, arc weapon final blows have a chance to spawn an arc elemental orb. Arc orbs can be thrown to create an arc explosion that jolts targets it damages. So yeah, words like jolt and volatile are pretty relevant towards those specific subclasses. Solar subclass, like they're not just words that describe, you know, electricity or whatever. Like it's very specific to the build and the perks that you choose. Solar weapon final blows have a chance to spawn a solar elemental orb. Solar orbs can be thrown, and of course that will scorch targets with the explosion. Let's see. Column 4, overload machine guns. Uninterrupted fire from your equipped machine gun stuns unshielded combatants, delaying ability, energy regeneration, and lowering combatant damage output. Strong against overload champions. Additionally, machine guns are always overcharged when that modifier is active. I really like using machine guns as a heavy. Like, it's definitely a good angle. Elemental Fury. Champions take bonus damage when stunned from your abilities and elemental orb damage. When an ally destroys or picks up your tangle or elemental orb. Okay. The tangle cooldown is reduced by 5 seconds, and you gain bonus damage with weapons matching your subclass for 10 seconds. Picking up a tangle grants energy to your least powered ability or elemental orb. Okay. Semi-auto striker. If you have fewer than 2 stacks of armor charge, rapid precision shots with bows, snipers, and scout rifles generate an armor charge. Alright, the last column. Monochromatic Maestro. Dealing elemental ability damage increases matching weapon damage. And elemental weapon damage increases matching ability damage. Bonus granted is 10% for 5 seconds. Okay, that's definitely going to be one I would want to equip. Rapid precision hits made from long range weaken the target. Okay. So yeah. Critical hits from far away, you know, like really good at landing headshots or hitting enemies in their weak spots. Subclass elemental buffs grant you bonus recovery and damage resistance against combatant attacks of the matching element type. Okay, that could be good as well. Like, I usually spec real heavy into, as a Warlock, like resilience and recovery and stuff like that. But of course, I like to have my grenades handy pretty quick, so I do that as well. A lot of discipline. Combatant final blows with tangles or elemental orbs have a chance to drop special or heavy ammo. Okay. Your armor charges grant bonus damage to your thrown tangles or elemental orbs. Your armor charge now decays over time. Huh. I like that until maybe the last sentence, but I mean, maybe that makes sense. Maybe that's some sort of a balancing thing here. A lot of nice variety. I think you're right, Chris. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, there's a lot of weapon choices here. There's, you know, I feel like not all seasons artifacts have been super open to like all subclass varieties, all the various elements, and it feels like this one will allow you to, you know, pick either all these perks if you're constantly switching subclasses, or you know, at least pick one here that, you know, if you're like Void and Strand heavy, you know, you just grab that one and go. So that's actually really cool. The elemental orbs seem interesting in this sort of interplay where it's like the enemies can pick them up, but there's also a perk for you if they manage to do that. Very interesting. I guess, I don't know, we might give it another 10 minutes here on their pre-show. I don't know why they would set 9:30 unless they just wanted people to be gathering, catch all the latecomers. See what they have to show here. Aw, come on, guys. 255. Oh, that's it? I thought they were gonna... Oh, okay, here we go. The Vanguard has rallied. All legends from every corner of the galaxy step forward, lending their bravery to the oncoming conflict. Together we must travel to a place of new wonders and old memories where the witness continues its unrelenting corruption, promising oblivion should we not fight. Okay, so new wonders and old memories. This could perhaps mean that we're going to get to experience a lot of old, maybe old strikes, raids, moments from throughout the entire history of the game. Maybe a lot of stuff will sort of make a comeback to sort of wrap up the season, or however you want to, or wrap up almost the series, you would almost think.
I don't even know where to begin. You've missed so much. We've slain gods, vanquished nightmares, fought alongside those who we once fought against. I wish you could have been there.
Yeah, me too, kiddo. But hey, I'm here now. Wherever the hell here is.
I dig it. Oh, and that's the PlayStation stuff. Gotcha. See what this is. Epic moments.
I've seen terrible things born out in the darkness. Every moment brings them closer.
Oh my gosh, where are we?
The music.
You ready? Dad, are you ready? On your
Oh, not streamer reactions.
Battle stations.
Yeah. Alice.
Thank God.
Forsaken.
Holy crap.
About time we go to the moon.
Was that a darkest ship behind Okora?
So happy.
Moon's on it.
We are your
Salvation.
Wait.
The line between light and dark is so very thin. Let's cross it together.
Holy crap.
Aces.
This got me feeling things.
Moon's on it. Oh my god, dude. A Witch Queen. Smashing the ghosts, that was fun. Strand is so much fun. That's my favorite now.
What is he doing? No way.
Oh my God, was?
That's dope. What's up, Iceman? How you doing? Destiny 2 sizzle. Nope, still. Let me see. Where is I'll remember. Yeah, maybe it's not. Another kind of big item. Yeah, I'm Keith David. Yeah, there he is. Let's see. Let me pause it. Bring it back here.
Hi, I'm Keith David, and I am honored to continue the great work of Lance Reddick as Zavala. One of the great qualities of Zavala that really attracts me is his integrity and his sense of family. And I thought that Lance captured that wonderfully. And it is my intention to continue that work and to continue to bring that kind of integrity to the role. To all the fans, thank you for your support. Thank you for welcoming me into this family. Let's just continue to make this a great experience. Thank you. Hi, I'm Keith David.
Dude,
And I am honored
get
to
chills
continue the
when I
great
hear his
work of
voice.
Lance Riddick as
Yeah, he's gotten a real warm welcome from the community for taking over for Lance Reddick. He's totally a legend. Absolutely. Incredible. Let's see if they got anything else. Check this out. Season 22. And this is the new fashion. Like, we're gonna deck ourselves out like Eris Morn. Oh, this shirt. Okay. So this shirt is a Destiny shirt. This was from 2019 Solstice. You had to get to a certain point in the game, completing challenges or whatever for the Solstice event. It actually is, yeah, it is like shimmery, kind of glittery looking gold here. Yeah. I don't know. I can't really hold it at an angle where it like shimmers, but also the other thing is it has my gamer tag on the side here. And then it says Destiny 2 on the back. Got the Destiny symbol. So yeah, I thought I'd wear something that was like unique that, you know, not everyone would have. I do have a lot of Destiny shirts and stuff, but this one's, so yeah, you have to, and it was a limited time event, so like there's pretty much no way you could get it now. Like this was a special event. Touching grass is not enough. We must become one with the grass itself. Okay, that's wild. This is your Destiny showcase. Season of the Deep. I love the Trials gear. It looks gorgeous. I just don't want to play Trials. It drives me insane. That gear looks cool too. No, Destiny's been out a long time. Check this out. So Destiny 1 drops in September of 2014. Destiny 2 drops in 2017. Solstice 2019. I want to double check. Yeah, this was definitely the year that I went. I don't want to pull up someone's channel. Yeah, like images. Nope, that's not it either. Yeah, there's the armor. So that's the armor, and then this was the armor when you added, like, you were able to upgrade it and add like different flares to it, so you could get arc, solar, or void flare to add to your armor. And I did this on all 3 characters. So I mean, this was a dope, like, limited time armor set that you could get in game, limited time t-shirt, and limited time rewards that you had access to. Give me 1 second. I got some cool I can show you guys. Alright, here we go. Alright, check this out. One of these I actually just got, but, you know, since we're talking about Solstice 2019, Bungie rewards. Might be a little dusty. I think this is the right one. Oh no, I might have gotten them mixed up. I think this is right. Yeah, this is it. Congratulations. From the day your ghost found you, your light has been our beacon. You have prevailed against all that the enemy could send against you, plunged headlong into impossible labyrinths and shadowy realms, faced impossible odds, and emerged ever victorious. May this pin serve as a reminder of your incredible MMXIX triumphs. Please wear it or display it with pride. And can actually pop it out. And it's literally a medal from the game. And I can kind of show you the design maybe a little better. It's basically this design. So you can get the seals that you unlock in the game sent to you as an actual metal physical item that you could, pin to a jacket or a shirt or whatever you want to do. Or you just display it in the case like I do. I just kind of keep it here. So I have that one. And then I've got another one here. And this one just recently came, so I'll read this one out. Congratulations. Guardian Games began as they always do, with the winds of spirited rivalry billowing through the tower's banners. And although you shared the responsibility for victory with the rest of your proud class, when it came time to play, to go to the distance, you played harder than most. Ooh, I went the distance? I can find my way? I won't accept defeat? Alright. Take your rightful place in the Hall of Fame and proudly wear this commemorative pin, confirming that you are and will always be our champ. Good game, Bungie. So this one is from the Guardian Games, which we played this year, and I did unlock this medal here. So once again, it's set. So yeah, basically with Destiny, you have to, play the game, complete challenges and stuff like that, and then you will unlock, essentially, the ability to purchase special physical items like this, which I thought was super cool. So I mean, it's like, it's taking maybe achievement hunting or whatever up to a whole new level. What's up, Hills? How you doing, man? Dude, it's going great this morning. I think they're about 30 minutes late on their pre-show that they're doing here. I guess we'll see. I don't know if they canceled their pre-show or what's going on. But yeah, these two really pretty special items. I do have something else. Let me see. Let me see here. All right. I just wanted to dust them off a little bit. I've had them like displayed on my shelf here. But they've done, Bungie has done a lot of stuff for charity, and when there have been different things, I think there was like a typhoon and they gave away like shaders, if you donated to victims of the typhoon. They did a thing for Australia when they were having wildfires across their entire continent. They they made a T-shirt, and it has like, you know, your ship from Destiny flying over Australia, and there's like a kangaroo, and it was super cool. So I have that shirt actually, but I thought I'd wear the Solstice 2019 since this is a little more unique, a little more special. But another thing that Destiny has done is these, and this one's yellow, and this is their Black Lives Matter pin. So if you've ever, if you sort of donate through this thing, you'll get that pin, and you'll also get a what do you call it? Like a nameplate in the game. And then same thing here. This is their pride. Their pride pin. So they got the whole rainbow in there. And I think these are probably, you know, a couple years old by now. But I think they probably still do them, or some updated iteration. Now these are available just for purchase. You don't have to do anything special in the game to unlock these. Nothing crazy happening with these two. I have a lot of Destiny memorabilia actually. Of course, I got Lord Shaxx here. Got my McFarlane figurine of him. I have Lord Saladin in the bedroom next to my bed, and he's there with the big axe hammer thing. And he has his LMG, but Shaxx has the hand cannon on his side. Yeah, it's just a beautiful. This one, I guess he's a 6 scale figure, so I mean he might be just a little less than a foot tall, a little less than that, a little bit less. He's a pretty big boy. I mean, for scale. So like, cup of coffee. I'd need 2 or 3 cups of coffee to be as tall as him. Gotta properly stand him up later. It's spelled Shaxx like Shaxx like that, and he's the guardian of the Crucible. So yeah. Season. Yeah, I got the coffee for sure. See what else is going on here. Kinda dipped into a lot of Destiny stuff. Oh, Season 22 weapons preview. Here we go. Crafting preview, boosted progress from activity completions in PvP. Neomuna weapon pattern drop rates and sources are up. Increase a weapon's level via in-game currency. Resonant and harmonic alloys will be deprecated. Yeah, let's actually tap into this if we still have time here. Mid-season balance pass. Representing high skill PvP from the 2 weeks before the patch release. I'll show you guys the chart. Let's see, grenade launcher down here, combat bow, sidearm, scout rifle, auto rifle, submachine gun, pulse rifle, hand cannon. Interesting. Okay, so they're saying that these weapon types are higher skill. They more used. So the weapons that are more used are off to the right here, where I am. Going upward, kills over expected. Okay, so they're saying the expected amount of kills are rather low for some of these, and then, you know, it looks like we have sort of this average going across. Okay. Pulse rifles are the most effective weapon holistically. Ooh! Excluding Vex Mythoclast up in the top left corner. Oh my god. That's funny. Oh, fusion rifles. I didn't realize that they were, like, way up there. Yeah, I mean, the expectation of getting a kill with that is pretty wild. So a measure of effectiveness we use that shows whether a weapon is over or underperforming given its usage on the y-axis. Okay. Top 50 primary weapons. Vex Mythoclast way up there. The Immortal Adept. Graviton Lance, okay. No Time to Explain. Pulse Rifle. Ace of Spades and Rose being hand cannons. Le Monarch, the bow. Fatebringer. Damn, I want Fatebringer. That's a hand cannon. I want that. Really want that. I want that very badly. Please. High skill, all weapon types. Okay, this is not. I mean, we'll be here all day if we look at those charts. Let's see. Let's see if there's, like, anything juicy here. PvE kills with 2 special weapons equipped now generate heavy ammo at the same rate as 2 primaries, or 1 primary, 1 special. Okay. Made the swap to infinite primary ammo. Intentionally generated a bug that caused running double special weapons to drop heavy ammo at an increased rate. While we find some applications of double special to be interesting, particularly builds utilizing special weapons with custom ammo economies like trace rifles and Forerunner, providing a flat-out benefit to ammo was negating the trade-off of running double specials. Okay. Reticles. We are continuing our mission to improve communication behind our hipfire reticles with a few quality of life changes. Replace the perk active hipfire reticle element. New ones should work better at different field of view settings. Add a perked active indicator for symmetry. Move Grand Overtures charge meter further down the screen to reduce instances of overlapping other reticle elements. Okay. Zoom and damage fall off tuning. Okay. What zoom does and how it interacts with damage fall off. Scales damage fall off distance. Scales aim assist fall off distance. Increases accuracy, reduces recoil. Okay. I mean, this is some technical stuff for the super nerds. Exotic ranges custom tuned. Ace of Spades when Memento Mori is active. Previously had 10% damage fall off. Penalty has been increased to 15%. Okay, so you're not like sniping with hand cannons anymore. Last Word, Crimson, right? What are we thinking the returning raid's gonna be? I think, Chris, and here's what I hope it is too. Both things tied together here. I hope it's Crota's End. I really loved the second raid that they came out from Destiny 1. Yeah. See if we just get some pictures or something. Yeah, there's the final encounter. Yeah, there's Crota. Like, as hard as that raid was, I have so much nostalgia for it. It was difficult. It was fun. It was scary. It was a big twist. I loved it. Like, Vault of Glass is my number one. But Crota's End really has, like, look at all this. Just dope scenery. We were taking all our weapons from Vault of Glass in on this one, thinking we could own it. Coming in with all these creepy dark weapons too. So I don't know. I think that's, and maybe that's the easy answer. I mean, it could totally be something else, but I feel like that's got to be it. Oh, someone said Crota's End returns. I don't know how accurate this is, but yeah, that could be the reveal. Yeah, I really want to run Vault of Glass again sometime. Yeah. Coffee's good. Mine's getting a little cool, though. Brown. I just saw that. Brown eyes are the most beautiful ever. Oh my god, that's crazy. Gotta agree on that, you know. Brown eyes are the best. I'm gonna double check. Oh, okay. I don't know why it's not. Why is it not playing audio? Hang on, let me. I don't know, maybe they're. Okay, here's what I can do. I'll give you guys like something, you know, visual to look at, and I'll read out more of these insights about weapon tuning. But yeah, the artifact perks, that was really interesting. Pulled the Destiny Twitter over here as well. Yeah. Let's bring it. Oh. 720 is as high as we go. I don't have anything muted, so it's got to be on their end. Don't know why. Oh man, the Dreadnought. Or okay. Mid-season balance. They really have a lot of charts here. This is really interesting. Some of it, anyway. Kind of interesting to look at like what weapons are being used consistently at a professional level. Okay, Monte Carlo. We finally did it. It was mechanically the most complex catalyst we have ever done, requiring a host of custom animation work and a lot of things we'd never done on a weapon before, but we hope you enjoy it. Yeah, I'm gonna full screen this. I've actually seen this. This is a preview of the Monte Carlo Catalyst, which is, you know, Monte Carlo's an auto rifle in the game here. Okay, so you switch to that mode. And I guess you can't shoot. You just like stab with the bayonet. That's so cool. Let me see right here. We see him like click something, You know, like activate it. Yeah, and then the knife like starts glowing at the end of the bayonet. I don't know why I keep saying bayonetta instead of bayonet. Oh my god. Can't get anything right here. Dude, this is so cool, Chris. Like, we've always seen like certain attachments on guns and stuff, and we never see them like actually put to use as like a feature of the weapon sometimes, you know? Like even with what is it, the Crimson pistol hand cannon? It's got a bloody bayonet on it. But yeah, you can just go right in and stab. So it says bayonet locked is the perk there, just letting us know. Dude's out. So I mean, it looks like it could be a damage dealer. I don't know. Remains to be seen. We'll keep our eyes on it. It's got to be worth it. Going after Oryx there. Quicksilver Storm. Players have been reporting that it felt like ammo was not being loaded into Quicksilver Storm at the correct time. Discovered a misalignment with the animation. The ammo loading that has been corrected. Dead Man's Tale. I don't think I have Dead Man's Tale. I might need to get that one. Yeah, like one-shotting yellow barred enemies, yeah. Two-tailed Fox, reworked the Callus perk, third tail. Performance of this weapon was just a little bit off, so we have changed it to fire the third rocket following the second rocket instead of at the same time. Okay. I'm just going to see if anyone said muted. Oh, am I not a subscriber to Destiny? Weird. Oh, you gotta be on for a minute. Okay, someone said no sound. This is the tower from Destiny 1. Old school. Taking us way back. Let's see. Vergla's Curve, bow. Fix an issue where if Whisper of Fissures gets the kill, it does not count for Hail Barrage stacks. We've also buffed the weapon's performance in PvP when using Hail Barrage. Whisper of Fissures detonations now generate Hail Barrage stacks if the stasis crystal was created by this weapon. Shiver Quiver now activates when slowing enemies. We increase the slow stacks from 40 to 60 when hitting players directly with Hail Barrage arrows. This allows for a freeze if 2 Hail Barrage arrows hit the same player. Let me see how many guns are going on. Okay, there's a lot. Vex Mythoclast. They feel like it's been pushed up too far in playtests. Reduce RPM from 390 to 360 to match other auto rifles in the sub-family. Increase damage against minor combatants, red bars, and major combatants, orange bars, by 25%. I wish I had Vex, man. Tommy's matchbook. New behavior gives the same end result, but front loads more Scorch onto the base behavior. Scorch value was 14 plus 7. Now it's 15 plus 5. Touch of Malice. Strong weapon. Usability was too low in any content where it mattered. Because, yeah, you can kill yourself for sure. Because the gun does drain your life for ammo. Final round now deals 20% additional damage in PvE. We've reduced the damage it does to the user. It can no longer kill the user. This isn't to say you can't die when you're at low health, but the weapon itself will not be the thing that kills you. Okay, that's fair. It'll just hold you at 1 HP. And then, of course, you know, you can just get, like, super easily, like, one shot. We have fixed the Ball of Darkness to correctly deal arc damage, blinding PvE combatants. Okay. Final round damage up. Self-damage on the final round from 10 to 7. Final round damage can no longer kill the user. Increase the health awarded by Touch of Malice perk from 30 to 75. Set up Touch of Malice to work like Unrelenting. Guardians and major combatants give more points towards activation, and we increase the time allowed between kills. Ball of Darkness now appropriately deals arc damage and will blind combatants and stun unstoppable champions. Yeah. Malfeasance does a lot, and we wanted to make sure you knew when you're getting the effects of the catalyst. Fix an issue where the Vorpal weapon catalyst wasn't displaying the status buff text. Cloud Strike, reduce the lethal kill distance, and Lightning Strike against players, or distance. Lethal kill distance of the Lightning Strike against players. Wicked Implement, timing window for creeping attrition has been decreased from 3.5 to 4.5 seconds. Sorry, increased from 3.5 to 4.5 seconds. You can now also activate Tithing Harvest by destroying stasis crystals. Wicked Implement Exotic Catalyst now also includes the Headstone perk. I'm not sure I'm familiar with all that. Warmine. Yeah, you were saying earlier, Res. Yeah, missing Red War, Warmine, Curse of Osiris, and Forsaken. It hurts, man. It really hurts. Some of that was the dopest content in the game. Everyone's saying unmute. Perks. Bipod, we were a little overcautious when we made this perk. Wanted to see how people were able to combine it with other perks and effects in the wild to improve their DPS. After reviewing, we believe we can safely reduce the damage penalty by a substantial amount, from 40% to 25%. Envious Assassin, already a strong perk, but the mental overhead of remembering to swap your weapon before the invisible time limit expired, combined with it no longer working once your magazine was overflowed by any amount, made it slightly less fun to use than was originally intended. We've made some changes that should retain all the strength of the perk while also making it less cumbersome to utilize in combat. No longer a time limit after kills within which you must activate the perk or get another kill. Perk will now activate even if the magazine is overflowed. It will stop once you hit the maximum magazine size of 2.5 times or greater. Enhanced Envious Assassin now provides fractionally more ammo per kill instead of a longer window of time after a kill. Okay, that's fair. Underover's a little too niche for its own good. It was strong, but opportunities to utilize the perk were too few and far between. That's how I feel about a lot of perks in the game. To address this, we have increased the already existing damage bonus and added 2 more endgame PvE builds. Activities like Dark Cabal and Lucent Moss. Now provides bonus body shot damage against players with Woven Mail. Increased the bonus damage against combatant shields. Deals significantly increased damage to enemies who are enhanced by Dark Cabal overshields, in addition to enemies shielded by Lucent Moss. Gotta double check if I... Alright, under pressure. Forgot to send a message. Under pressure was long been a perk. A lot of upside reward for comparatively little risk in PvP. Triggers neutrally during combat and sees 100% uptime on special ammo weapons. It's especially potent on fusion rifles. I was about to say that. As much, we have reduced the maximum accuracy bonus that can be granted by under pressure, while allowing it to retain the full strength of the stability bonus. Maximum accuracy cone from 0.5 to 0.75, so it's been reduced. Maximum accuracy reduced. Couple more here. Shoot to loot no longer triggers the reload shooting when shooting a special brick that could not be picked up while also having an overflowed weapon equipped. Explosive damage now interacts with orbs of power. Interesting. Valiant Charge, the perk now deactivates as intended after a single swing. Yeah, that's for swords. Oh, what's up, Hills? Take care, man. Ambush. Certain unintended damage impulses that were causing the ambush origin trait to deactivate. So we excluded those from the list of potential triggers. So ambush no longer deactivates from healing, fall damage, or being shot by allies. Explosive light. There's no more free explosive damage. But don't worry, there are more than enough orbs of power to go around. Fixed a bug where the enhanced version of the perk was granting 2 stacks of the initial orb pickup. Chill Clip has been something of a must-have multi-tool. It was a little too easy to deal with all 3 types of champions at once. We have made it slightly more difficult to get the full freeze effect, which should move it back to being closer in line with other perk options. Reduced slow stacks from 60 to 40. Wolfpack rounds no longer trigger this perk. To craft or not to craft, here's what's changing. Boosting activity completion progression across several activity types. Crucible, Trials, Dares of Eternity. I haven't done that yet. Wellspring. Not sure I know what that is either. I'm a little out of it. Gambit. Platinum score completions of Legend and Master Solo Lost sectors. Adding capability for progress that exceeds the current level to roll over to the next level. Okay. Resonant and harmonic alloys will be deprecated as a required material and will no longer be obtained during a dismantle starting in Season 22. Which is the new season. Planning on removing these materials entirely from the game at some point in the future. Your remaining materials will be available to be exchanged for Glimmer at Raoul in the tower. Okay. Neomuna weapon pattern acquisition. Neomuna weekly pinnacle story mission score challenge will provide guaranteed Neomuna weapon pattern progress. The first time it's completed each week. Vendor engram upgrade will increase the drop chance of deep sight Neomuna weapons. This is retroactive if you've already claimed the vendor upgrade. Throne World engram upgrade will also receive the same behavior for the Throne World deep sight weapons. Retroactive as well. Season 22 will also include a bug fix in the underlying deep sight drop system. Okay. I think that's about it. That's pretty in-depth weapon stuff. I can't believe they're doing such a long no audio pre-show here. With like no dialogue, nobody sitting around a table hyping you up or anything. Very weird. So yeah, we're looking forward to some changes in the Crucible. There's going to be a map pack for the Crucible. It looks like Gambit will just be left to die in a hole. Maybe we'll get some more news about Keith David's portrayal of Zavala, which they did mention that they're not going to like retroactively go back and like change, you know, Lance Reddick's lines. Like they're not gonna do like they did with the Ghost and just completely erase all of Peter Dinklage's work, you know? That's pretty cool. Yeah, Gambit really does have a lot of potential, and I believe if there was like some tuning or even like some changes, like just look at how people normally play and just completely change up the entire mode, or add something that spices it up, throw in a new map or new enemy types, or you know, maybe even just like change the rules or make some sort of specialized mode that's maybe a little more casual, a little more fun. You don't have to be like so aggressive and tuned in, because like I feel like lately when we've played Gambit, like we'll start the match and we're already losing by like 100 points. Like you know what I mean? Like it's like we get to the first batch of enemies and they're already almost done. Okay, we got audio now. Thank goodness. At least give us this. These old cutscenes are dope. They're going 720. Yeah. And I really initially enjoyed all the weapons that they added. I still have a lot of the original Gambit weapons, like the auto rifle, the hand cannon, the trust, you know. Like a lot of the weapons were really great. Seeing her come back was amazing. I felt like the Stranger was a huge missing link that Destiny has had for quite some time. And I was like, where is she? What's going on? Have we forgotten about her? Like, what's the deal, folks? So, I mean, that was definitely a big moment. That was cool. I really loved Gambit, and I was really excited to see it in the game, but like we were talking about the other day, Chris, the Malfeasance quest burned me out on Gambit. And I know it's been years since I've got Malfeasance, but like it's still the desire is not really there. It was just so difficult and so annoying. And I know there were some parts that were hard earned, and other parts like I got lucky and got the easy way out on some parts of it. But yeah, I just haven't really. And maybe that's the other thing. Maybe they do need to have something like that for you to chase, like after Malfeasance. You know, whether it's a catalyst for that weapon or just like a whole new weapon for us to chase in Gambit.
The end before it happened.
I don't know.
My own death, brought on by the separation from my power.
Savathun.
And in these final moments, I looked to the sky. Hello, old friend. I've chased you for a long time. First as an enemy, then as a collector, and finally, now, a supplicant. What is it the Guardians say? Devotion inspires bravery. Bravery inspires sacrifice. And sacrifice... Here we are. is an answer. I don't hear it. Because now the world begins to fade.
How'd they make me feel bad for that? How did they literally tell a story about a villain right there and make you feel terrible for her dying? That's crazy. That's good storytelling. I'll admit they've had some great writing over the years, and I got a couple of the Let me see here.
So, you're saying Savathun was dead? Our most devious adversary, the one who nearly decimated the last city from within, was dead. And the Traveler resurrected her?
Yeah, I got 2 of the grimoires.
But why would she need us?
I think I need 3 and 4 now.
If she never
I'm out with
leaves
several
them in the
now.
first place.
This has to be another trick. A lie to fool us into surrendering the Traveler without a fight.
This has been the Traveler's approach from the beginning. The Books of Sorrow detail many civilizations it blessed with the light, then abandoned.
High propaganda.
The Fallen tell the same story. When the Witness and its Black Fleet came
Yeah,
to
the
harm,
grimoires are
the
dope.
Traveler moved on to our system.
Or it sacrificed itself to save humanity from the same forces. Forces which included the Hive!
You don't really see Zavala lose his cool like that. It's pretty rare.
The Traveler give our worst enemy the light.
It doesn't matter. I don't know why the Traveler gave Savathun the light. Maybe it has changed its mind about Guardians. Maybe it's not as infallible as we once believed.
Got 18 minutes.
I don't know, and it doesn't matter. Because I'm here to protect humanity. And if Savathun takes the Traveler, we lose our light, along with any hope for surviving the Witness's return. So, whatever it takes to stop this heist, we will do.
All right. How do we stop this?
I'm not sure yet. But I know where to find it.
What is that outfit? Oh my god. Witch Queen. No, come on. Don't do the...
Isn't this interesting?
Interessante. What?
So did you.
Why are they playing?
So protective of your travel.
What?
That you wouldn't let me keep it safe.
It switched to Italian.
But the Witness.
Even up here.
Coming.
Presentazione. Boy, they are struggling right now.
Yours to win. Or lose.
They must be having all sorts of tech issues.
Just don't say I didn't warn you.
Now you gotta squish that ghost.
No. Where did your ghost go?
Guardian, I just...
Guardian.
The Traveler is back in the last city.
Oh, now it's back to English.
Is Savathun
but no subtitles, man. That
Good enough. Hold your position. The Hidden are coming to secure the remains. Good work, Guardian. You did the right thing.
maybe.
Now what?
No.
If you ever wanted
We
to,
prepare for the witness
right?
and
Try
stop
to
the
learn
next
some
collapse.
Italian right now. I mean, that is a great way. When I was taking Spanish, like, our teacher was like, if you can, like, you know, switch your favorite TV shows to Spanish, you know, go on your Xbox and change up your settings to where, you know, the voice and the subtitles and even the menus in game, change all that to Spanish so you start learning to interact with words, you know. And I did that for a while.
Promise them life, but deliver only death.
And it is helpful. It does help to immerse yourself in languages like that.
Enough death.
Yeah, here's Megamind.
Enough life.
That's a look.
You have no pieces left to place. The game is over. Do not be afraid. Your pale heart holds the key. This time, there is no escape.
Season of the Haunted. Seraph. There's your crow boy. Why does he have the Karen haircut now? I'd like to speak to your manager. No, we can't go there anymore. Wait, what's with the lower midriff hug there? Something going on there?
It's happening again. The whirlwind.
Aramis.
Don't worry. The great machine will never abandon anyone again.
I don't know if I've seen that. That scene did not look familiar to me. I think I've seen this, but... Saladin!
It's leaving. The Traveler is leaving.
And a bray.
The Warsats.
Isn't that Rasputin? She's got him like hooked up.
Aramis, please do not do this. If you care at all for our people, if there is anything left in your heart,
Aurora sacrifice?
Make it known your pain. Anna, it's time.
For Reese.
Goodbye, Red.
Like try to destroy the Traveler so no one else could get it.
Anna.
Stranger. Yeah, I don't know that I've seen this whole cutscene.
Why does it not flee?
Because it has nowhere else to run.
Season of Plunder, Nightfall. I actually really like this expansion. I don't know, it got a lot of hate online, but I dig it.
Vanguard to all units. Keep the enemy away from the Traveler. At all cost.
Got me hyped for Destiny again. Plus awesome space battle again? Come on. Amanda Holiday doing her thing. Doesn't destroy, it creates.
What is that?
So why would it choose to do that?
Whatever that thing is, we gotta take it down.
Did she vaporize that ghost?
Amanda!
That's Amanda. See if I can grab a drink here before it starts.
Going down! Multiple casualties out there! We need to fight it!
Disciple, you know what must be done.
They found the veil.
We're in no position to engage the enemy.
We don't have a choice. We're out of time.
Osiris. Don't die.
No more running away. Rest now. Well, the uglier they are, the harder they fall, right? No? Come on.
We finally found you.
Get your coat.
What's wrong, Osiris?
Get your coat out of there.
Finality takes shape.
It's creating the link.
At long last.
Destroy it.
What just happened?
We just lost.
Zavala, come in.
The universe makes us all victim and perpetrator. That's infinite cruelty. You, more than any, suffer both fates. Be free.
Had to get some coffee. I got some decaf here, but that pumpkin spice was not very good. It was kind of bitter. But I'm used to it being a latte. And this was just like straight coffee, like black. And I thought I'll just try it, like, you know. I didn't want to add too much to it and maybe mess it up. Or vice versa. What's up, Dark? How you doing? We're checking out kind of the pre-show here for the past, I can't believe it's been an hour and a half. Yeah, Destiny Showcase is up right now, and then later today we will check out the Gamescom opening night live. I think it's like an hour or so after, a little later. Okay, I haven't seen this. So this is probably the big event that's leading up to this new season here. I don't know, maybe I have seen this. Hang on.
All attempts to found have failed.
Dude, that Guardian got completely torn apart. Two seasons, the final shape. Destiny 3. No, I would hate that, actually. Okay, so they're not gonna end it. I didn't think they were, but there was that lingering possibility. Thank you, Commander. Zavala.
난 어둠 속에서 태어난 끔찍한 것들을 봤어. 매 순간 그 미래가 다가와.
Oh my gosh, where are we?
And the music.
Ready? Dad, are you ready? On your dudes!
여기서 시작된 건 내 미래가 아니야. 너의 미래지.
Why are they doing this again?
Holy crap.
About time we go to the moon.
Was that a darkest ship behind Okora?
Moon's on it.
우린 너의
구원이다.
Wait.
Oh yeah.
명심해. 빛과 어둠의 경계가 아주 모호하다는 걸. 함께 건너가자.
Holy crap. This got me feeling things.
반갑다. 예치.
I'm afraid. What? Traveler just did a Death Star!
20 seconds, let's go.
Why is he doing that? No way!
Oh my god, Ross!
Come on, man.
Thanks for tuning in, y'all. Like many of you, I've been playing games as long as I can remember. They're a core part of what makes me who I am. I believe there's this deeply rooted
PlayStation shoes
mission of games to keep adventure alive. In 2014, Bungie set out to start a new adventure. Heroes awakened on a desolate planet. A silent god set in our sky. And it wouldn't be long before an ancient enemy, shrouded in darkness, showed up at humanity's door to destroy us. Over the years, our heroes would shape a story.
Yeah, he's rocking the mustache, man.
We could have imagined. Players would explore deep into the depths of Venus, hunting a machine god that controlled time itself. They'd invent ways
the
to
best
combine their
raid
mythic weaponry and their paracausal abilities to stand alone against monsters that took others an entire elite squad. They'd race alongside their friends far into the early morning in the halls of an ancient city where only a select few emerged victorious at dawn, clutching the heart of a dragon. But most importantly, they'd bring their friends and their family into this world and together meet new faces on this adventure.
The live action commercials were really good.
Now, together, we approach the final shape. We're about to embark on the last expedition of Destiny's first saga. So let's be clear about the stakes. In the final shape, you will go inside the Traveler. The journey will be difficult. And what awaits you on the other side of this trek is nothing less than the deadliest entity we have ever faced. There will be no open betas. There aren't going to be any guides on the internet telling you how to handle what's to come. Whether you've been with us from the beginning, joined us somewhere along the road, or are looking at Destiny for the first time, anybody who shows up on launch day is going to be greeted with this same uncharted world. A vacuum-sealed experience begging for you to be the first person to peel it open. So today is your invitation to go forth and adventure.
I wonder what time this is gonna open up. Oh man, this is legit how the game began. Ghost finds you, brings you to life.
After all these years, we never talked about it. Why I brought you back.
Is that the old tower?
You were chosen.
The vault.
The truth is,
That's so cool.
I didn't know then.
There really should be an animation like that
It was just a
for reviving. That looks way cooler. Oh.
But I know now. After all we've seen, all we've lost, this fight might be our last. So I'm asking you one last time to rise.
We're getting everybody back for this one. What? Pre-order now, February 27th. Yeah, so these seasons will be prepping us for the big moment.
This is a momentous time
Part of the
in
Traveler.
Destiny history. And we've been building to this moment for the last 10 years.
The final shape is the conclusion to that journey. This is a moment in gaming that, as a developer, you just don't get very often.
Guardians and allies are fighting the biggest threat that the universe has ever seen in this big culmination of the Light and Darkness saga.
When we were thinking of what the final shape could be, it had to be a lot of different things. It needs to pay off this epic confrontation with the Witness that we've been setting up for years. It has to bring you closer to your allies in the Vanguard.
Creative director.
It has to be this place that like makes you feel nostalgic for the entire journey you've been on.
When we were resurrected by ghosts at the very beginning of this story, we didn't know why, but it was for this. The Traveler is asking us for help. And it's our
Cinematics
responsibility
director.
to protect every living thing in the universe from what the Witness intends to do.
When we first start the final shape, we are finally able to go through the portal that the Witness opened in the Traveler at the end of Lightfall.
Inside is the pale heart of the Traveler. That is the stage for our showdown with the Witness.
The Witness has the darkness. It has always had a connection to it. The pale heart of the Traveler is what it's trying to use to gain connection to the light. So with both, it can enact its final shape.
The Witness looks around and sees a lack of purpose, no meaning. It wants to fix all that. So it's trying to put the universe into this frozen perfection where everything's just exactly how it thinks it's supposed to be. That is the final shape.
The way it's supposed to be.
If we're going to defeat the Witness, it's going to take everyone. Failure is not an option.
We're gonna need the Vanguard, all
I
of
love
our
that
allies,
Warlock outfit.
and all
It
of
looks
the
so good.
Guardians to rally together and be brave in the face of oblivion.
In the final shape, we're going to answer questions at the grandest scale. But what I find really interesting is that it's also a very personal journey where we deepen our relationships with these characters that we've known for so long. Zavala, Ikora, our ghost, get to reconnect with Cade 6. So, like, while there's this great conflict and everything going on around us and stakes of just unimaginable heights, it's still at the end a story told around campfires by a bunch of companions who have been fighting together for hundreds of years.
In the final shape, we're going through the portal that the Witness has opened up
Project lead.
to confront it and stop the final shape. Inside the Traveler is this infinite, vast, unknowable. And we're landing on the
Pre-alpha
Pale Heart,
footage.
which is a fraction of really what is inside the Traveler.
Looks gorgeous. What
The Pale
interesting
Heart
scenery.
is weird. It's a little strange. It makes you feel a bit uncomfortable. And it is also just so cool and artistic in the best way.
I like that. Reminds me of the, what was it, the Infinite Forest?
Well ahead of any Guardians.
But maybe weirder,
And so it's
crazier.
time to kind of shape what's there. When our Guardian enters, the rest of the Pale Heart starts getting shaped also around what we've experienced.
This is the Traveler recreating the world in front of you as it saw on your
Design director.
One of the most memorable locales from Destiny's past is the D1 Tower. It's really a labor of love from the Destiny team.
Aww.
The final shape means so much to everyone who's building it, and I think players are really going to be able to see that.
The original tower.
The
Where
Pale
the
Heart
speaker
is
was
our
there.
very first linear destination that we've ever done. I would love it if players felt that they began their journey in a place of safety and feel it escalate in danger, in surrealness, because
Yeah, they gotta
there
give
is
us the
this
nostalgia.
beautiful evolution of the space.
They see things that are more and more wrong as they begin to go towards the Witness's monolith. It's kind of this omnipresent, foreboding thing off in the distance.
The weirdest things happen as you get closer to the monolith in the form of reshaping.
Those
Kind of
weapons
like
look really cool.
deconstructing things and putting them back together just wrong.
The sense of scale you get out there, like as you're exploring these spaces and you're jumping on these reshaped cuboids of Earth, you feel tiny as a Guardian. You feel alone. You feel like you are not the force to be reckoned with that you have been. You're not the God Slayer right now. You're just this little person jumping from these massive pieces to massive pieces.
One of the things that we really tried to also capture is that the Witness keeps throwing everything it has at you. And so you're going to fight these new enemies, the Subjugators.
Subjugators are the new unit you're going to be facing in the final shape. They have an enhanced power set. They're performing stasis powers and strand powers to face the Guardian, well, in support
That looks cool.
of all the other enemies you're fighting too.
They bring something entirely new to the battlefield, which is kind of this element of control.
They're back there pinging away with stasis abilities, throwing crystals at you, freezing you in place, tangling you up.
That's interesting. I like that, actually. Give us a challenge,
We're
yeah.
focusing you on the campaign and only the campaign. It's the most important thing in the universe at that moment. You have to stop the final shape from happening.
And for that, we do need the help with our allies. And so we're going to make sure that the core Vanguard team gets back together. Zavala and Ikora and Cade.
The campaign is just the start of the Pale Heart. After you've reached the monolith and finished the campaign, we open up the entire destination, and so the entire Pale Heart is going to react to you and what you are doing.
What does that mean?
The campaign in the final shape doesn't really end with the final mission. The raids are where you defeat like the big bosses. So it's only natural that when you are going to confront the Witness, you're going to do that in the raid. But that might not be enough. This is a moment where we need to rally all Guardians to be able to overcome the final shape and the Witness.
In the final shape, we are inside the Traveler, very close to this energy. This allows us to have new supers, Arc, Solar, Void.
We want to create something that turns you into an offensive powerhouse.
Art director and
but
design
also
lead here.
Can benefit your allies in a support capacity. There is this thread of team play and like working with your friends to overcome the odds.
Okay.
The Warlock super is
So the Void
ultimate
Axe?
expression of solar energy coursing through your Guardian. This solar Warlock super is a callback to Radiance from D1.
Other than Golden Gun, this is the only other first-person super in Destiny right now. Your melee's like all these projectiles going off, doubling the amount of projectiles. Your grenade almost being sentient as it searches around, and then it hits a character and bounces off and goes to another one. And
I love it.
You're so overflowing with this energy that you are also giving it to your allies, allowing them to have their solar weapons supercharged, applying Scorch when they're shooting.
The new solar Warlock aspect. When I
love
cast
it.
my Rift, it is going to create this little solar soul that when it sees an enemy, it launches part of itself out and hits the enemy and explodes and scorches.
It just feels very alive.
Oh, dude. All right.
Twilight Arsenal. It's a layered super.
This is the only ranged one-off offensive super for Titans in the game. The Titan jumps up into the air, summons this giant void axe, throws it, summons another one, throws it, summons another one, looks at a different group of enemies, throws it. And when these axes fly through the air, they stick into the ground or an enemy, do their void gravity thing where they suck a bunch of energy and enemies in and then explode. But that doesn't destroy the axe. The axe sticks around and you and your allies can go and pick up that axe and start wailing on
That's
enemies
so
with it.
cool.
This super is insane to me.
See, now you're going to want to have one of each Guardian on your team.
To consume my grenade and turn it into the shield. The
Oh,
more
the
damage
shield.
It takes, the more it charges up, and then I can release that, and it creates this blast that deals massive damage.
Stores the kinetic energy. Cool. and then displaces
the
it.
Hunter Arc Super.
Arc is all about finding the shortest distance between 2 points. The hunter kind of rears back, takes this knife and throws it across the world, and then is able to blink to its position, do the slash that just decimates anyone nearby.
That's so
One really
cool.
great thing about that is not just you do it once, but you're able to do it 3 times, along with devastating attacks each time you do it.
The hunter has an aspect. We take our staff, we twirl it in the air, which propels us upward. It creates this burst, which amplifies you and any allies near you.
It almost makes it feel like you're playing a fighting game, right? Like these combos that you're chaining together to do these different moves. It like takes that sandbox to the next level.
I like
The more
that.
aspects we have, the more capable we are to do that.
It feels like you're like riding the lightning, you know? Like that instantaneous, like...
That was good, but I think it's more like... You know?
I like it, I like it.
All right, these are dope.
Weapons team has been working on all sorts of goodness. We've got exotics, we've got legendaries, we've got perks. We're always cooking up stuff. We're always playing with stuff.
Designer and
really
senior
interesting or
designer.
taking inspiration. We have Tessellation, which is this exotic pyramid fusion rifle. It has the really intriguing property of adapting your Guardian's current damage type.
This will be the first time that you can run a weapon that can adapt to be strand or stasis in the energy slot. So you'll be able to run an entirely strand or entirely stasis loadout. Tessellation has the additional property that you can special reload to reshape your grenade and suck it into the weapon, and then fire out a super destructive single projectile.
What?
What's the one specific exotic that I can make that's like really zany that you would like right now?
What if Golden Gun was a sniper rifle?
What if you could harness the might of the Traveler? You know, we had a moment where we saw that Traveler Beam cutscene. I know people on Weapons went, I kind of want that. You're like, that is incredibly dope.
So
No
we've got
way.
this opportunity to bring back these iconic Destiny 1 weapons,
Traveler
but
gun.
really turn it into something that feels unique in Destiny 2.
We have to bring Kvastav into the fold.
The Red Death exotic pulse rifle.
And Dragon's Breath. Burn the world, burn it all. In the final shape, we have new weapon subfamilies coming, broadening what existing weapons can be.
Really like bordering on exotic functionality. So for example, we've got a rocket pistol sidearm subfamily. We always liked the special ammo sidearms. This fires tiny, slow-moving rockets. They hit very hard, do a bit of AoE damage.
See, I haven't found a
They
good
have
sidearm
mixture
in a
of
while.
Regular weapon and rocket launcher
That's cool.
stats. We're also doing a new support weapon subfamily.
The support frame auto rifle is a type of legendary auto rifle. It'll let you switch seamlessly from firing at enemies to healing your allies. I'm really excited to
I like
bring
that.
it to dungeons and keep my team alive, honestly.
Yes. See, that's
Weapons
what
team
I
is
loved
always
about
coming
the
up with
hand
new
cannon.
ideas. We've got a ton of new cool stuff coming over the next few years.
And then it
some
just
new,
felt like
really
that
wild
kind of fell
ideas,
apart.
Which I'm pretty excited about.
'Cause I like playing the healer role in Destiny. I like being a warlock.
Take a load off. We've got a lot to cover.
Legends are forever.
This place is only big enough for one dashing hero type, and that's me, so... I'm back! Hey, you two, give me a sec. I was
See,
magnificent.
Red War was the best way to introduce everybody, and they got rid of it.
Get your rock off my map. Worst case scenario, you die. But who knows? Maybe you won't. Well, better get back to it.
Whistled theme.
In this moment where we're driving to the end
Narrative
of the Light and
director?
Darkness saga, it's great to see Cade like return to this world at this moment with all this change about to culminate with this confrontation with the long-standing enemy, the Witness.
Cade is the quintessential hunter.
Senior
His
narrative
presence
designer.
cast such a long shadow over the story of Destiny, whether it was when he was alive or when he was dead.
What Cade goes through in this journey, how he serves as a catalyst for the other characters, the events that are uncovered to have brought him back. This is how the story had to end. There was no end to the Light and Darkness saga that didn't have Cade here alongside his friends to finish the job.
Once we started digging into the nature of the Pale Heart, I think that crystallized Cade's role as a guide. Cade is Virgil, and he's our guide through this other place. Cade is the one who is the most appropriate person to be the guide, because that's his job. That's always been his job. It just feels so natural for Nathan to be back in the booth. It felt amazing to just see him slip back into the role, like, without missing a beat.
Right, instantly.
In the flesh, or metal, as it were.
Cade's the glue that's always held Zavala and Ikora together. Having him back puts them in a position of questioning where they've been and what they've done without him.
You think about the journey that Zavala's been on and how he's been taken down this dark path, and you think about the weight that's been on Ikora, having to hold the Vanguard together, having Cade's voice of levity and brightness that he brings to that group. I think it's going to be great for them.
Right?
Well, at least we have each other.
We want people to take away that sense of reunion and that idea of like the gang being back together for this moment.
I'm here now. Wherever the hell here is.
Pretty cool.
Guardian, the witness poses a dire threat. And the Witch Queen holds the answers we seek.
Uh-oh.
But only if we contend with her sister, Xivu Araf. It rests with me.
Will you come back from this?
Do not be afraid.
Paris, what are you doing?
Bring me your tithes.
You now wield hive magic and have entwined it with your light. Assault the Spire, Guardian, and open the way to our tithes. Let them know.
Little moths that we were reading about.
Whispers, and they do whisper. Fight in my name, Guardian.
See, I never get into this seasonal mini-game modes.
Strengthens me.
They're just all too samey and they get boring to me.
My appetite rises for your brutal tribute.
Hammer.
Let us show her what it is to be Hive.
You have sounded the horn of battle! You are deserving of the greatest death I can bestow.
Season of the Witch. I thought they were gonna play the song. That's crazy.
Season of the Witch is our opportunity as players. We've been annihilating and breaking Hive spells, and now we finally get to cast them.
Creatively.
At the end of Season of the Deep, we learn that Savathun has the key to getting into the portal that we need to go into. That means we have to go find Imaru, her ghost. Imaru's like, not so fast. We've got a bigger problem first, and that bigger problem's name is Xivu Araf. If we fight her, she only gets stronger. Eris has an idea. It's a really
good
It's
idea.
a wild ass idea, yeah. She determines like, well, the best way to fight fire is with fire. We are channeling all of that energy that we're creating by going through, by eliminating enemies, and we're tithing to our friend Eris.
Tithing.
What does that mean for the characters and the player to kind of like be like Savathun? And that's where we went down the path of having Hive Eris. We wanted to extend that magical fantasy into the player then. That ability to have overwhelming magical power.
Assistant game director.
Into all of our activities and systems experiences. And so
yeah, that's
what led us
crazy.
to come up with things like Deck of Whispers. It's this magical deck of cards that creates amazing synergies with your buildcraft meta and with buffs and the activities.
They can then choose these cards at will, whichever ones they want, and then that really leans into the build crafting.
A lot of
You actually
cards.
are getting cards that you can then use to place on the battlefield and change the way you play.
I am such a sucker for deck building. Like being able to like bring that element into Destiny gameplay has just been like, oh, chef's
Yeah,
kiss.
oh,
It's really
super
fun.
And I guess
So we've
the
got
cards
two
from
brand
your
new
deck,
seasonal
maybe
activities
it
coming
draws
with
them
Season of the
randomly.
Witch. We've got Altars of Summoning and Savathun's Spire.
Savathun's Spire is our new 3-player offensive. You're doing a lot more with the Lucent Hive magic, but it's got a high amount of combatant density. It's got additional random encounters that you can come across.
The Witch's Spire itself, Savathun's Spire, was like her reliquary for all these different magical experiments.
Yeah,
that
this is
she was
starting to
learning
sound
a lot.
better.
You're there in order to learn as much as you can in order to become a master spellcaster, right? To become like Savathun.
Especially if it's not like
The
an
Altar of Summoning, I think, is
easy
really exciting because you can spend,
thing
like,
where
20
you
minutes
just
in it or you can
blaze
spend
through
2
it,
hours.
and
It's a 3-player
because I feel like there's a
experience
lot
that
of
you can
activities
hop
where
as you're going through this
we
activity,
become
you're still
too
in the
powerful
tithing bucket.
and
As
we
that
defeat
tithing bucket
enemies
is
so
filled up, you'll
quickly
get
that like
progressively more rewards,
a lot of
and
times
then
I'll feel
finally at
like
the end,
one
it'll
player
cap
is
out
kind of
and you'll get a
carrying
whole mess
the
of
rest of
rewards.
us, and it's like not as fun if we're not like
We really
all
wanted to make sure that there was
in
a
this
home
big fight
for
together
any
and
exotic
we're
mission
all
content coming in
needed to get
seasons,
through it.
after the year has
There's
passed.
always like
And
that
so
one
we developed
OP
what we're calling
player
the
with
exotic
their
mission
build
rotator.
and super
away,
that
we're
takes
getting
out the whole
Presage,
arena,
Vox Obscura,
and it's
and
like,
Operation
well, I
Sparrow.
didn't get a chance
This
to
is some
do
of the most fun
mine, you know?
content the
Like,
team has
I
making
feel like
and some of
that
the
event,
content the fans
that
of
happens a
Destiny
lot
the
in
most.
Destiny.
The most exciting thing, outside of
Especially
just
when
the
you're
missions
playing with
themselves,
like no
is that
lifers
every time
at
we put a
times.
mission inside of that rotator, the exotic that comes alongside of it will become craftable.
Okay. Huh.
With Season of the Witch, we have a brand new Vex lo-fi PvP map coming. It's really exciting. It's got a bunch of really tight gameplay experiences.
So I mean, I
We
hope
wanted to
it's
make sure that
challenging in
we
the
focus
respect
combat a
that,
little bit more.
you know,
With the new
either
Vex
there's a
network
large
map,
pool of
we wanted to make sure
enemies,
we hit is like, hey,
as
there's
well
shoulder
as
to
being
shoulder battle,
high-powered
there's not as much
enemies,
deep sight lines that
and
you're
that
interacting with. And
it
a lot of
really
the
is
map
an
is actually
activity
built
that
around
requires
this,
all
like,
of us
central pillar
to work
of the Vex
together.
network that you're oriented
Because I feel like there's
There's
too
also
many
some
things
other
like
things here.
strikes where
We've got a
you
new
just
PvP game
you
mode
just
coming
wash
that's
through
all
it,
about
and
relics. It's about multiple
there's no
relics. It's
stakes,
not
there's
just
no
one, like
excitement.
the Scorch game mode from
You
the
know,
past.
raids are the
So we've
only
got the
thing
shield
that
coming from
test
Vault of
you.
Glass. We've got the spear back from Season of the Risen.
And we got the
Love
scythe
it.
from Season of the Haunted.
Yeah, so you're going to be
Ooh.
breathing Guardians with that thing. It's
I
a lot
love
more
the
tactical
shield.
gameplay. It's all
in the
about
raid.
running around the map, claiming these relic dispensers, and then grabbing them in order to push for victory.
I will take what I need. The words in my throat are the weapon in my fist.
We were feeling pretty Hyvey this season.
Ivy.
Obviously, there's something in the air. And so when thinking about like what's a good raid reprisal that would really suit this very Hyvey season, there's only one answer.
This is perfect for the fall season. To have kind of a scary Halloween vibe in the game. Oh no. I think I was right.
I have seen what the Hive call a god.
He's back. I'm gonna skip the ad break. I don't want to do that to you guys. You guys see this. Oh, the darkness at the beginning. That was my favorite part of the raid. Just tons and tons of thralls coming at you. Using radiance to exploit the bridge crossing. Sword flying across the map so you don't have to do the bridge. Yep, using the sword to hack up Crota at the end. Open all players. No, that's dope.
Heading into the final shape, we really want to rally all Guardians at the end of the Light and Darkness saga. We want to reduce those power barriers as well as catch people up on key story beats and make sure that they have a really great and easy time connecting with other players.
Oh, that moon
In the
armor.
final shape, we're trying to find ways to make power more simple and easy to understand and also lowering the barrier to entry.
It's going to make it easier for players who have not been able to jump into game easily because they were held back by the challenges in grinding for the power levels that are required by these different activities.
One of the major changes that's going to be happening starting with the final shape is there are going to be a certain number of activities that are going to be power fixed. So it doesn't matter kind of what power level you are going into it, you're always going to be able to approach it. There's still going to be tiers of difficulty that you can do, things that are just meant to be experienced a certain way.
Things like Nightfall strikes that will still have power enabled, and that's where we're really going to focus the whole power climb.
The raids, the contest modes that everybody loves to engage with, that experience is fundamentally going to be staying the same.
I'm excited for this because I think there will be a lot more clarity for players in terms of understanding the relative difficulty of things, where they sit now in the spectrum.
One way that we're trying to do that is making it easier for new players to engage with you. So we're introducing something that we're calling Fire Team Power.
You can actually bring your friends along to play any dungeons and raids in the game without having to wait them to be at a certain power level. The person with the highest power in your fire team is actually going to bring all the others close to their power level, which means that there's no barriers really for any other Guardian to join you in this high-level content.
When it's combined with Fireteam Finder, it also allows you to find strangers, people you've never played with before, and have that same experience. That's all regardless of the power level of you and the rest of the people in your fire team.
This might be one of the best changes they've ever made.
Aimed at helping connect and find other people to complete the best
Guardian
and most
Oath.
aspirational content in Destiny. We have a tag system that allows players to be able to say, well, this is my playstyle. I'm really chill.
About time.
I'm anti-sweat. I'm just really here to have a good time.
Okay.
Exactly.
Tags
Yeah,
really
I just
allow
want to have a
players
good time. I don't
show a
want to
bit
be
more personality, show a little bit
harassed
more
by
about what they're
people
about. I
and,
think what's really great about it is
you know, made fun of for not. You don't have the Gallhorn. You can't raid with us.
One of the inclusion tags that we have are for colorblind players. Hopefully the inclusion tags will bring players closer to finding their community and even
Yeah,
closer
and there's
to the
people that get mad if you like
So
fail
when
an
a
activity.
listing
It's
goes
like,
live,
come on,
players will
man.
be put into a listing lobby where
Have
players
patience.
can gather, they can communicate with each other. So we wanted to make it as convenient
Yeah, this
and
is.
as easy as possible for players.
They should have
to
added
not
that
just
10
sit
years
and
ago.
stare at a screen for a long time while their listing actually fills up.
As a gamer who's typically more so
LFG on the Xbox was when they added that. That was a game changer.
Anxiety and burden that comes with trying to make a new connection.
But that was, you know, only for people that have Xboxes. You know, to use that native to your
The
console.
feature coming out today that I'm incredibly excited about is timeline reflections. Essentially what we have done is we've went back to previous expansions and
bring
pulled
back
out
some
missions
missions.
that we felt really represent key narrative beats within our
Yes.
story. We're going to have a mission for Forsaken, a mission for Beyond Light, as well as a mission for Witch Queen.
Thanks for the memories.
That's good.
The neat thing about these missions is they're not going to be like one-to-one for how you would experience them in the campaign. You're also going to get additional pieces of narrative fed to you to like identify like, hey, this is why it's important that this happened, and here are the people you met along the way.
A really big one that's really timely for Final Shape is Cade's Last Stand from Forsaken.
Yeah, that was a good mission.
This is a moment that a lot of players, new and old, are going to come back to Destiny. I think this is just the right time to introduce features that are going to allow those players to jump right in and find people to play with and enjoy this content regardless of their power level.
All ends
We're
are
reaching the end of
beginnings.
This 10-year journey. What comes next?
The episodes. And the new way we're going to tell stories moving forward.
What's really important about episodes is that it's a really big shakeup to what we've been doing. Instead of providing 4 seasons a year, you are going to get 3 larger episodes. And so the first 3 episodes in this coming year
I think this is
called
better
Echoes,
already.
Revenant, and Heresy. It's coming right after the final shape. And the theme for the year is going to be all about the consequences and aftermath of the final shape. I think what's really the cornerstone of the episode model that we're building is the 3-act structure. The acts act as these anchors for us to introduce
Exotic
new
weapons,
new
stories,
artifacts,
quests,
new
armor.
activities. There's going to be new missions coming around the corner. There'll be
Reacts.
new story moments in every single one of these acts. We're actually providing more cinematic styled experiences throughout the final shape year and the episodes with it than any of the seasons we've ever developed before.
These new
Probably
stories
better.
are actually playable as standalone. Like each episode is something you can experience whether you've been playing Destiny for 10 years or this is your first one.
You're going to be able to basically enjoy them in any order you want to.
I think the opportunity with this big epic moment is that we get to innovate the game. We get to move the game forward.
It's all about change frequently. It's all about deeper story moments. It's all about more weapons, more loot, more often. And it really provides the team with a platform to go much deeper into the themes and fantasies and story of any individual episode as compared to the seasons you know of.
Yep.
Today.
This is already better than seasons.
With this kind of new platform of storytelling. Episodes provides this awesome foundation for the future of Destiny.
We're moving into the next stage of Destiny 2. I think some people look at the final shape and they think Destiny 2 is coming to the end. And in many ways, it's the opposite. We're leaning in. We're putting the pedal to the metal. Episodes provide us a new, innovative way for players to engage with Destiny 2 throughout the year.
What makes a guardian?
I feel like seasons go by too fast, and if you're playing other games, it's hard to keep up.
We know that we were chosen for a reason, by something greater than ourselves.
Guardian. Guardian? Eyes up, Guardian.
Shaped by the fires of each new battle, we are forged and sharpened into what we must become for the fight ahead. We are the final line that halts the second collapse.
All of us. Every Titan. Every Warlock. Every Hunter.
What is it the Guardians say? Devotion inspires.
What's up, Andrew?
bravery.
Dude, this is dope, man.
Sacrifice.
Sacrifice leads to death.
The line between light and dark is so very...
I'll always be playing this game. Oh, dude. I think they're gonna make it easier. Easier to keep up, easier to not miss out on stuff. The seasonal stuff, the FOMO that comes from that. Fear of missing out.
You've heard the stories of the traveler's sacrifice.
I feel like having
Darkness descending upon
3 episodes
humanity.
over longer periods of time is a much better approach. Maybe a little easier to keep up with.
This time, there is no escape.
It's going to be an exciting year for Guardians. We get to make good on a promise.
Dude, the new
that we made
subclasses look
way
great.
back in 2014. There was classic rock blasting,
Yeah.
fire team racing across our solar system, and at the end, a simple message: become legend. Today, you got a glimpse at how we'll be cementing your legend in this upcoming year. We're going to be heading inside the Traveler, experiencing a destination unlike anything we've ever built before. We'll face the biggest bad we've ever made, and we'll do this all alongside a streamlined progression system.
So cool.
Allowing us to easily play with friends in any content in the game. And as the dust settles in the final shape,
It's a good
we're
move.
gonna continue our legends in Echoes. It's Destiny's first episode in a new phase of storytelling for Guardians with brand new conflicts born from the resolution of the Light and Darkness saga. These first episodes are just the beginning. But if you're chomping at the bit to see how the Light and Darkness saga is going to kick off the future of Destiny 2, we've got a ton of great content for you to jump into today. Going on after this, we've got Season of the Witch, with a new story, new weapons, new armor, new activities, and new PvP content, all alongside a series of story catch-up missions, allowing any of your friends to jump into the game and get up to speed on what's happening in this world. Then, next week, a brutal reprisal of Crota's End.
Crota's
and join
End.
the ranks of our aspirational content.
Let's go.
I can't wait to see you all in the throne world.
Love
as we
that
learn
raid.
More about the final shape and how we can stop it.
We're gonna have to tithe to Eris. You got the Titan's Void Axe, the throwing knives for the Hunter, Radiance for the Warlock.
This fight might be.
Got nostalgia, you got replayable missions coming back in a new way.
One last time.
New area to roam. Uh-oh. Collector's Edition reveal. Uh-oh. Ready your wallets, gamers.
When we create a collector's edition, we try and recreate items from the universe for players to enjoy outside of the game. So this year we're doing a Destiny 1 tower. We really tried to work hard at
Oh,
thinking
that'll
about
look good
10
on a
years of
bookshelf,
Destiny
yeah.
and how best to encapsulate that experience.
Even as the game dev who've worked on it since day one, like I think having it be the tower is super exciting for us because it's going to kind of catalog your journey of a player from when you first started playing Destiny all the way to now. The tower, it's kind of like the beacon in which you're a place you can call home.
You get the tower, and then there are actual figures of the Vanguard mentors that accompany that architectural model.
And there's a lot of like hidden
Aww.
messages and hidden things.
There's gonna be some fun surprises. We're always trying to push the envelope. And so we've been playing a lot with magnetic locks and sound effects, lights, just sort of make this experience as a whole.
There's
really
gonna be
special.
something
It's sort
inside
of
of
the
it.
perfect symbol of Destiny.
There's a
I'm so
magnetic
excited for
lock.
it.
Be like a puzzle, maybe, to open it. February 27th of next year, the final shape. Yeah, take my money. Alright, they're gonna have a post show. What do you guys think so far? And gamers, don't forget to hit that like button. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Ring the notification bell. But yeah, I'm actually really excited. Final Shape looks incredible. The 3 new subclasses and the way they focus so heavily on teamwork seems like a great idea. Rather than all of them being about like offense and like how many enemies you can kill or how much damage you can sink into one enemy, it's more about like, how can I help the team and empower everybody? How can my super help everyone? And that's what I've always liked about Warlock supers in particular, is a lot of times they do provide a benefit to everybody. Not every Warlock super or subclass is all about just, eliminating everything and just, one-shotting the boss or taking out an entire arena of guardians or whatever. It's more than that. So I kind of like that new approach. And it looks like everything's got a lot of flair. It's going to be really fun. I think this is going to make me want to play as all 3 different classes of characters again. I'm going to want to get the Titan and the Hunter out of my vault and give them a spin. But the problem with Stasis and Strand was you got to complete a whole story mode on separate characters to unlock those. It's a very long process to unlock and fully level up and unlock all the perks for those subclasses. So I gave up because it's literally dozens of hours, a long adventure to get that done, which is a good thing, but it's also a bad thing if you're not living on the game and you're not able to just exhaust all of those things. But yeah, I guess we'll check out the post show. Yeah, the grind for stasis was really pretty scathing. I think they did better with Strand, but at the same time, I was still like, it's a lot of work to get that and level it up. You can purchase the aspects for stasis. Yeah. Honestly, that is gonna cut down on some of the harsher grind. So yeah, we'll check this out, and I don't know if we'll have time to dig into all of this, because opening night live will be starting soon. And that's going to be Jeff Keighley looking at all the latest video game releases and trailers and all that fun stuff. Just gonna double check. Yeah, that's at 1 p.m. and 73 minutes, it says, yeah. I'm not sure how long the post show here is supposed to be, but I can't imagine it'd be too crazy.
Hello, Guardians. Welcome to the
Oh, look at the Cade statue.
My name is Taylor Liz. I am a Destiny 2 player and content creator.
Ace of
I'm
Spades.
excited to be here live at Bungie. We're gonna have 2 segments for you today. A little later in the show, I'll be playing through the brand new Season of the Witch content with my good friend, Pika Peach. Right now, let's sit down with Bungie developers to talk more about what we just saw and what's next for the future of Destiny 2. Pika, over to you.
Thank you so much, Taylor. My name is Pika, and I'm also a content creator and Destiny 2 fan. You can often find Taylor and I playing together in some sort of challenge in-game. I'm beyond honored to be sitting down with everyone here today, so let's do some more introductions.
Thank you, Pika. It's great to have you here. Hi, my name is Cosmo. I'm the lead community role here at Bungie, and my role is supporting our amazing community team and all the great work they do, helping prepare weekly check-ins and sending info out to our players. I'm going to be teaming up with Pika today, and we're going to be asking some of these guys some questions and go over some of the things that we didn't get to cover in the showcase. So, yeah. Dan.
Interesting.
Yeah, thanks. I'm Dan McAuliffe. I'm the general manager for Destiny 2. And that mostly means that I get to support all the amazing talent that makes this game. So thanks for sitting down with us today.
Absolutely.
Looking forward to it.
I'm Joe. I'm the game director on Destiny 2. And actually, while Taylor and Liz were doing the intro, I was hiding behind a pillar for the last 10 seconds. So y'all can like roll back the VOD and see if I did a good job or not.
Awesome. So let's get into some questions. As a player, what are you guys most hyped about regarding
shaved the
Final Shape and
mustache.
beyond?
That's
Anything
wild.
specific you can call out?
For me, I'm really excited about the story. I mean, this is going to be like the epic conclusion to the Light and Darkness saga. Like, players are finally going to get to go into the Traveler, confront the Witness. Like, the stakes have never been higher. I'm just really excited to get to watch everybody play it out as soon as they can. Can we make it live right now?
I don't think so.
I tried.
No.
I tried. Anyway, what about you, Dan?
For me, I mean, it's a lot about the supers, right? Like, I just think we have this ability with these supers coming out to shift the meta in a really exciting way. And like, I just haven't played through them and gotten some hands on them. Sorry, like no spoilers, but like, I think they're going to play in all parts of the game. So I think you're going to see these in the campaign, obviously, but you're going to see these in PvP, and they really feel like that sort of pinnacle achievement of our Guardian's journey in a lot of ways. So just really excited to see the final product.
Interesting.
Yeah, for me, I guess it's maybe surprising. It's the weapons. And I know, like,
shock.
Yeah, we make a lot of weapons on Destiny 2, right? And so why are we excited about the weapons this time? I think the team sort of really looked and said, what's core to Destiny, right? Like, what's really important? And we said, hey, Like Destiny's at its best when you're getting a bunch of new weapons, and those weapons are so exciting that they are making it onto your character right away. They're like changing the way you play. So this is not just exotics, right? It's not just like, I think it was alluded to, like, what if Golden Gun was a sniper rifle?
Yeah,
Cool sniper
that was
rifle.
cool.
I think it's also, we talked about these new, weapon subtypes. And so what's a support auto rifle? We've made guns that heal before. We've made exotics that do it. Well, if we do it in a legendary, what needs to be different about it so we can make this thing that feels as useful to a fire team as someone bringing Galahorn, that feels as useful as someone, bringing Divinity, right? And we know that's the bar that we have to hit. So we're looking at a bunch of different things and saying,
what we need.
Okay, we're gonna make these guns and we're gonna make them matter, right? We're gonna go out and you're gonna get awesome stuff on, the Pale Heart. I think we showed a little bit of it. There's like these sweet, they look like a deck of cards. If you go back and watch the footage, and there's a bunch of awesome stuff coming in the weapons. And so I think we're really just trying to hit
Celestial Nighthawk helmet over there.
Loot game, right? Like the loot should be awesome.
Absolutely. Yeah. Well, me too. So speaking of the Pale Heart, the reveal. It was said in the reveal that the Pale Heart destination is the first linear destination ever done. So can you talk us through why it was decided to make it more linear destination?
All right, linear.
And
like,
what it means.
Yeah. So
the math lesson now.
Yeah, not sure how many folks have been in algebra recently, but if you're like me and need a little refresher, linear.
Please.
Line, right?
Walk
like
me
that's
through
what
it.
we're saying here. So a classic Destiny destination, we think of it as a loop, right? There are these big public areas. They're all connected in a circle. And then from those areas, there's little offshoots. There are little alleyways that you can go to. And that just didn't make sense for going inside the Traveler. One, because the Traveler is huge. When we talk about the Pale Heart, we're saying, like, hey, what if you were an alien, you landed on Earth, and the only part of Earth you saw was like a parking lot in Montana. And you were like, oh, this place is huge, right? Like, it's sort of like, okay, so we're going to show you a really small slice of what is inside the Traveler. And then we said, it needs to feel like you're going somewhere important. It's a vast, unknowable place. Okay, well, on one end, we've got the portal. And on the other end, we've got the Witness that's built this giant monolith. And so every single area that we've built is built in a consecutive line from one to the other. So you travel through these things and you can look back at once you once were. And if you need to go to the next part, you're not going into these offshoots that dead end. You are going to where you need to be going. It's really focused on, hey, you've got a job to do here.
So it's like tracking your journey.
Yeah, it definitely is.
Okay, cool. Well, that sounds insane. So, super different.
That's what we go for.
During the showcase, it was also mentioned that completing the campaign would unlock the full destination and that it almost like reacts as we progress. Is that kind of what you're hinting at, or can you explain that a little bit more?
Yeah, so I think two things we want people really to come away with thinking when they think about. One, this is a bit different in the way that you experience the Pale Heart right away. So normally, you might land on the throne world and you do a mission and then you're out with your Sparrow exploring the throne world, doing the missions if you want to. Day one of the final shape, you got a job to do, right? And so it is mission, right? And you just go through and you say, hey, we've got to stay focused on this thing. When you get to the end of that day one experience, everyone can sort of like collectively take a breath, collect themselves, and then you just this realization like, oh, we're like inside the Traveler, right? Like we should probably go see what that's about. And so the whole destination unlocks for you. And there's a lot of things that are different about the Pale Heart than our other destinations. I think we're gonna save some of those juicy tidbits for what's different about this destination and how it sort of compares to what we've done in the past. But yeah, it's a pretty different experience than even what you might expect in somewhere like the Dreaming City.
I'm curious about that.
We want to save some of these juicy tidbits, not just because it's fun, but because I mean, the Traveler's just been this inscrutable godlike sphere that people have wanted to know more about for so long. And this is their opportunity to experience some of that mystery. And I'm excited to see how that plays out.
Well, it's alive, right? So what can we really expect?
Yeah, I think, we talked about this. We showed a little bit. The section that you're in, it's shaped off of who's there, right? And so who's been there?
So cool.
the witness, right? The witness
messing stuff up.
Yeah, chilling right there. We're trying to knock on the door. We don't know how to get inside. And and we're gonna make it eventually. And so it's got this both really unique aspect to it, and a bunch of the geo looks like stuff that you've never seen before. A bunch of these places feel like, this heaven on one side, hell maybe in the middle, crazy Destiny surrealness at the end. And then there are these accents of like, I'm at like a crazy heavenly beach. And then you see this giant ghost carved into a mountain, or you see the D1 tower erecting out of this. And so, we're really excited to sort of give people this like distilled Destiny experience that still feels really new when you're in there.
It's amazing.
So Dan, we've got feedback from players who wanted to learn more about the origins of the Witness and the Veil during the Lightfall campaign, rather than wait until like later on in the seasons. So players have big narrative expectations for the final shape. How are we taking this feedback and making this the epic conclusion that this first saga deserves?
Oh yeah, no, I mean this is the sort of fun of the challenge for this, right? Because the Light and Darkness saga has been such a focal through line for really most of Destiny's existence, right? Like it is this epic story. Joe was just talking about, some of that sort of culmination of experience inside the Pale Heart. And so this is a spot where we have to really land that culmination in a satisfying way, right? Like there's a confrontation that's been happening. There's a story that's been being told. This part of the Destiny world, we have to end really well, and the players deserve that, and the story deserves that. And so there's some things we're doing to account for that. But in addition, we have to set up the next set of stories. We're going to talk probably more about episodes in a bit, but like starting after the final shape with the new episodes framework that we're rolling out, we're going to tell all different stories, and we'll learn more about the world of Destiny moving forward. So that's the unique challenge that we are taking very seriously. And to accommodate that, we've done more, I think, on the narrative side of the fence than we've even done in the past. More significant writers' rooms. We brought in more folks from even other parts of the studio to really kind of consult on this and make sure that, all of our fans who probably know the Destiny lore better than I do are getting the pieces and answers to the questions that they want answered, unless we want to save some of those questions for the future stories that we're going to tell.
Right.
There's been a lot of questions we've had since Destiny 1 that haven't been addressed or answered.
From Cosmos and Pika's questions and give them the note card shuffle here in a minute. I think one of the things that we knew that was going to be challenging about this is, hey, we're telling the climax of the story. We know that, hey, when you get in the final shape, in those first moments, we want you to feel like, okay, Bungie delivered on this promise, delivered on this promise of becoming legend, delivered on really putting a bow on the Traveler and Pyramid story. The thing that was also important for us is like, okay, well, you're gonna confront the Witness, the biggest bad in Destiny. Okay, we think you have to confront the Witness in the raid, right? Like a version of Destiny's chronological history where the Witness was tough. Not quite as tough as Valka-Or, right? It's probably not.
I'm gonna grab
our players
a bite to eat while we're watching this.
And so what we really think is this day one experience is sort of like the penultimate episode, or the right before the season finale of your favorite TV show. And it really sets the stage for, hey, this is exactly what's going on in the world of Destiny. The stakes have never been higher. You go through a pretty epic journey. And then we say, okay, now we have to have this raid beat. And so it's sort of a reverse Taken King. If some of our people remember that moment in the Taken King, we delivered a thing where, hey, day one, for 80% of our players, they're like, I dealt with Oryx. And then for 20%, there was this other thing that they could go do, have another experience with Oryx.
Right.
And so for this one, we say, hey, we want everyone to go really set up what's happening in the final shape. And then for everyone, right, and we're not going to get into that, right, you should all wait for the raid, right? And we're going to help make sure everyone is brought along for the end of this journey. I think it takes a lot of our learnings from both really classic experiences like Crota and Oryx and sort of infuses them with what we've been doing with things like Savathûn and Callus, and taking all that lessons and saying, okay, we think we can do this the right way.
Yeah, and also just for something like this, when you complete the circle of this story that we've been telling, we want to make sure that we're paying homage to the things of the past, and we're talking through just so many of the things that have made this story what it is, but also telling it in a way where if you're coming into the Final Shape as your first experience, you can enjoy the mission, you can enjoy the campaign, you can understand what is happening.
Right.
But there's just a lot more if you have almost a decade's worth of Destiny play knowledge that you can look at.
So it kind of sounds like that means I have to play the raid to get the full story?
No. Now, while we're really excited about something like Fireteam Finder coming in and making it easier for anyone to get into the raid and experience those beats, yeah, I think the different part from our strategy startup as in the past was we said, hey, there's something more for those who raid. There is a piece of the story, right, that is told in the raid. There's a piece that's essential. But it is definitely not going to be a moment where only raiders get to see the end of the Light and Darkness saga.
Right.
Okay. Well, that's good.
As we carefully skirt around 1,000 plot points here.
So we showed a glimpse of the new enemy, the subjugators. Are they going to be as terrifying as the tormentors? Like, what sets them apart from previous enemies?
Yeah, we were running through some questions yesterday, just like this. Spoiler alert: we do practice a little bit. Like we do think about this. And I got in trouble because I said several obscenities last time I did this. So I'm not going to do that today on stream.
Who scolded you?
It could have been anyone. Cosmo, it could have been anyone that scolded me.
Okay.
And so I've been playing a lot of the Final Shape recently, probably surprising to no one. Subjugators are very different than Tormentors. Tormentors are sort of like this Kool-Aid man that busts through the wall and is like saying, all right, look at me, right? Oh, okay. And Subjugators for us, they come out in these moments where you feel like you have a battlefield full of enemies, and then you hear the pyramid screech sound.
There's a sound.
And a Subjugator beams in, and it's like they're the ultimate sort of backfield tactician, right? And they're doing things like giving everyone around it little pyramid buddies. Like you've been shot in PvP with an Arc Soul. Like imagine 10 taken Scions, and suddenly a Subjugator says, what if you all had little pyramid buddies? And you're like, oh, thanks, Subjugator, right? And so there's still these moments where you're like, you might want to just hold on to your super. You might want to hold on to some heavy ammo when you're playing through the campaign, just in case this busts through. I think one other thing that we've really learned from both Tormentors and Light Hive is we started building these sort of like captain-y units, right? These things that feel scary. And we're very careful in both Witch Queen and in Lightfall to make sure, hey, we don't want to overuse these. We don't want this to become a thing where you get a bounty and it's like, kill 20 Light Hive. Like, oh, wow, they're just everywhere. And I think we're striking an even better balance now that we have a palette of these captains where it feels like, hey, I'm getting these like really meaty sandbox experiences. And we know how to sort of engage them in both the destination and the strike and the mission. So I'm really happy with a bunch of the learning the team has been taking as we continue to make these things.
Oh, totally. Yeah, my super basic take from having played it is that like, and I didn't know how this was going to play out until I experienced it. Joe described it really well, but it's, what I want from these units as a player is I want that moment of ha and insert obscenity here so Cosmo doesn't yell at me. Right. But like, and the Subjugator absolutely delivers that in the same way that I felt from the Tormentor, and the same way I definitely felt the first time I saw the Light Hive. But it's just, to Joe's point, it's a very different way, right? Like it is, when it comes out, like I'm just as terrified and worried for myself and my fire team, but for different reasons,
right?
And with different tactics, and you have to approach them a very different way. So I think it feels very good to me, at least as a player.
Why am I already nervous?
Because whatever he just described, what you were picturing, is probably lighter than what's actually going to happen. Like pyramid buddies are Arc Souls, and to say.
I'm picturing some, okay.
Yeah.
I'm a little nervous. Okay, so Dan, this is for you. Your favorite, or everyone's, not yours, everyone's favorite hunter, Cade 6, is seemingly back from the dead. Can we get a little bit of the story on that?
I mean, I'll happily take this one because I love talking about Cade 6. I mean, here's the reality. We've been talking about this all coming full circle, and Joe was talking about the campaign as mission. You have a mission. There's a thing that has to happen. And like both as players and developers, it was just hard to picture finishing this fight without Cade 6, right? And so so we brought Cade 6 back, and you're going to get less details than you want, but but Cade 6 is back for this fight, and it was super important to us as you go through to have Cade 6, Zavala, Ikora, on comms talking through, and I think the most critical part of that is it's Cade 6 with Nathan Fillion, and I don't know about everybody else, but like Joe and I were talking about this yesterday, and I think Joe said it really well, which is like when you're playing through the builds as you're going through, and the moment Nathan's line started actually coming through recorded, man, it just hits different, right? Like it just changes the dynamic for me as far as like what I feel about what's going through, the sort of complexities of the story. Right. But the part that's important, I think, to know is that like this is Cade. Like Cade is back. Cade is with you on this journey. He is your guide through the Pale Heart.
Yeah.
And there's other stuff that we're not going to talk about just yet because I want players to experience it. But yeah, anything more you want to add there? It's exciting.
No, we'll probably say this a few times. We were like, what's the final shape? How are we going to do this? What's really important? We really wanted to make sure that this experience felt like the most distilled version of Destiny.
Yeah.
Like it's Destiny dialed up to 11. It is the like Destiny extract that if you were baking with, you only need a few drops. Like this is very potent. For us, we knew, hey, we've been planning this narrative roadmap out for a long time. We were like, okay, we know we need to make the best of this moment that we have with Cade here. But I think it was really, again, as the VO starts to come in and you're in these missions, you're like, oh, that's like Cade 6 talking to me.
Yeah.
And even, I wouldn't say everyone's favorite hunter. I mean, Eris Morn might have something to say about that. But yeah, it really starts to be like, okay, yeah, this is that distilled Destiny experience.
Yeah. I'm now picturing Destiny extract on the Bungie store. I don't know what it's for,
I think
but
you got something here, actually.
Yeah.
You could bottle this.
Yeah. Not sure what it smells like.
Good point.
I don't even want to speculate.
Yeah, just stop.
So we've been talking about Final Shape. Let's talk about episodes. We've seen some feedback from the players that the seasonal model has gotten a bit predictable at times, and we just saw in the showcase our content cadence is getting refreshed with this episode model. Can you talk us through what episodes are and how they're going to be different than seasons?
Sure, yeah. So, let's start with sort of what episodes are at their core, right? I think the easiest way to think about episodes is the natural evolution of the seasonal model. Because the seasonal model's done a lot of great things for Destiny. Mm-hmm. I think we've run seasons for the better part of 3 years at this point, and it has allowed us to deliver really quality experiences at a 3-month, very fast cadence, really move the story forward. I think we've told some great stories, introduced some new activities, new mechanics, really moved everything forward. The problem is, and if we're being honest with ourselves, and I'm going to be honest with ourselves, we really bias towards consistency to do that, right? Like we wanted to deliver it quality. We wanted to deliver it on time, all the time to the player. Mm-hmm. But that made the experience somewhat repetitive. Like almost sort of by design in a certain way, which is now, I think, stretched out to the end of its utility. So episodes change up the framework and change up the delivery cadence. So there are 3 episodes a year. The first one will start alongside the final shape, and parts of it will start a little bit after. We can touch on that in a sec. But these 3 episodes are split into 3 acts each. Okay. And this means 2 things, really. One, that now what you're really looking at is 9 beats a year that are 6 weeks apart. And each of these beats gives us an opportunity to materially change the state of the game, to materially move the meta forward, introduce new story, introduce new weapons, new perks, new activities. And it doesn't have to be so formulaic. So it allows us to do what I think Destiny does really well, which is get a little weird at times. It allows us to throw, I have some really bad baseball metaphors I'm not going to use, but like throw some curveballs into.
You just said you weren't going to use the baseball
metaphors.
metaphors.
I didn't use the bad one.
Okay.
That's a good one. I can get really deep with this metaphor, and it's going to be interesting to about 4 people, so we're not going to do that. But it allows us to react more to what else is going on in the game. It allows us to change up the way we look at content delivery in a way that I think is just strictly better for all of us who are players, right? Like these 6 weeks, the 6 weeks in between major beats, I think is a really good way for players to, play Destiny in within their own lifestyle, how it fits into the white space of their life. I think it allows us to to introduce different things, to try some different things. Like I said, make it weird and really start to experiment in a couple of places because of it, not everything has to be there all at once, right at the top.
Right.
So I think what episodes allows us to do is to not only continue telling stories in I think a new and pretty interesting way, but it also allows us to just really amp up the variety of the types of things that we can bring and when we can bring them into the game, which I think is just going to be a great experience.
Absolutely. What does that mean for the reward track?
Yeah, so one of the most interesting things that we're doing with episodes is probably how they start.
Okay.
So for us, again, we've talked a lot. It's like pretty important that when the final shape is happening, everyone in the universe is saying, you know what's important? This whole thing that's going on in the Traveler right now. We've got to stay really focused. So we wanted the episodes to be a reaction to what happens when the final shape resolves, right? And so this means both. We don't want to tell a competing story at the same time.
True.
And we want, hey, once the first episode kicks off, for it to be in the context of what happens in the final shape. So the majority of the narrative content, the activity content, really when the episode begins, happens that reset after the raid. However, right away, we know there are some systems that just need to be online. So the reward track, you're going to be able to get Red Death, log into the game, claim it from the past. I've been using it a lot in playtests. It's a solar weapon.
Interesting.
So like a little bit like, yeah.
What's up, Iceman? Yeah, we're still here. We're watching post show.
And yeah, I think we're excited.
And a nice wrap up, extra details.
You're going to be able to get weapon-wise from the episodes themselves. We have another sub-archetype that's going to be out there. We haven't talked about what sub-archetype that is, but we might see it in I think it's the kind of thing that people are going to be like, oh, I might bring this to the Raids World First Race. And so we're excited for both having some of this content available right away, but keeping that meat of that narrative, keeping what's important for the story and the world of Destiny to say, no. We're going to say everyone's on the same page when this kicks off. If you are in episode 1, you're hearing those lines of dialogue, you're getting those story beats, everyone is saying, okay, we all just saw what happened, right? Like we were all there for that. And like, yeah, we were.
And nuts and bolts wise, so episodes, we're still going to run season passes alongside episodes. And so before, where it was a season pass specific to a season, now it's actually going to reset at every act. So you'll have 100 ranks for the first act of each episode, and then 50 additional will be added for each subsequent act. So 200 ranks throughout the course of an entire episode.
Makes sense.
And that length actually allows us to add some more stuff to it, right?
Yeah, I think we want to make sure that those additional ranks in Act 2 and Act 3 are really rewarding, and so we've both learned from our players, like, hey, we really value this. Can we get more of this? And so, like, great, we got that. And then we're also just going back to some old experiments. One of the things I'm really excited about is, in the 30th anniversary, we tried this experiment. We're like, we're going to give everybody a tiger helmet, right? And it's like silver, and it glows. And I'm like, yeah, and Hunters, Titans, Warlocks, they can all wear it. I'm like, maybe we should do that again. Maybe that should be what's on the very end of the pass, where you not only is there, a unique armor set, but at the end you can be like, hey, and I was there. I did the whole thing right now. I got like this awesome helmet, and everyone wears the same thing. So we're excited to be taking a lot of learnings and pushing this and saying, okay, I think we've made a thing that players are going to be able to sink their teeth into and feel rewarded from and be excited about.
Yeah.
I like the idea of having like a unique reward to an episode. That's really cool.
Yeah.
Well, you answered the question about 2 separate narratives, so we don't need that card anymore. Good. What about the artifact, like the perks? Like, are players going to have a different experience there, or are they going to get the same kind of like day 1? Or
yeah, so day 1, you're going to see something that looks exactly what you expect the artifact to look like, right? It's got the same amount of rows and columns. We've really been honing in on how to like make each artifact feel different. What's going to happen, though, is when Act 2 rolls around, some magic space appears at the top of the artifact, and a whole nother row appears.
Nice.
And so this is not meaning you're going to get less in Act 1. You're going to get the same amount you're used to. But Act 2 brings another row. Whole new ways to modify the game. And Act 3, another row on top of that. So we really want these acts to feel like hey, it's not just that we're bringing new activity content in. It's not just that we're bringing new narrative content in. We are shaking up the meta. There's new rewards. There's new ways to play. There's new nightfalls in the rotation. Right? All of this is sort of what we're pitting out. It's like, yeah, we love this idea of, players finishing the final shape, an episode kicking off, and then just being a few weeks away from like, wait, Act 2 is like weeks away? And you're like, yeah, it's right around the corner. And then they're in Act 2 and like, oh, Act 3 is weeks away? Yeah. Like, how can we make sure that Destiny always feels like it's changing and evolving?
Yep.
Yeah, it sounds like it'll be like really refreshing more often. But can you tell us what happens after the first 3 episodes? What's next with Destiny 2?
So the episodes are our new storytelling framework. You're going to get less information than you want, but they allow us to really move the story forward in different ways. And so one of the things that we want to experiment with is, can we make some of these episodes more standalone stories? Do they have to all interconnect? Can you play them in specific orders, things like that? And so after the episode 3, the intention is to continue rolling episodes forward and keep telling different stories and take whatever learnings that we get from the first 3 episodes and start to evolve the framework.
Yeah, and I don't think Dan's gonna kill me here, but we'll see. So maybe keep the coffee cup out of his hand.
I'm waiting for a spit take. That's what I'm doing right now.
We got a lot of people. Most of them are at home. I was gonna point to the other side of the office. Most of us work from home now. That are working on Destiny 2 and are going to still be working on Destiny 2 after the final shape. And so,
I'm not going to kill you for that.
It is not just episodes. Like, we know there's a bunch of content and there's different ways that we can get that into players' hands. And those folks still want to make that content, like the awesome stuff that we're sort of known for. And so, again, we'll be a little coy here today. But yeah, just to go back to what Robbie was saying, like, hey, we got some more tread on the tires here, and we're excited to show you where we're driving.
Yeah, and again, to what we were saying before, we think the episode model with the 3-act structure allows more like flexibility for us to make some of that cool content and make some different content. And I think the team is pretty excited about that too.
So episode 4. Maybe, who knows?
You got to find out what happens in the first 3 episodes.
All right,
here's the entire story. No.
All right, well, I cracked the code. What are some changes that are coming that will make it easier to get my friends in the game?
There's a ton. I mean, there's a ton. So we'll go through some specifics, but like finding ways to make it easier for people to group up and play together and improve that experience was a pretty big focus for the last 1.5 years and moving forward. I'm taking with Joe on time because, time's hard, especially in quarantine. But
so we got Fireteam Finder coming in season 20.
Absolutely, yeah. But even before we get into the specifics, like Destiny's just better when you're playing with friends. It's better in groups. It's better with a fire team. And so being able to build that fire team and being able to play the best content is the sort of overarching goal for what we're trying to do. And yeah, so we got Fireteam Finder, we got Fireteam Power, we've got Timeline.
Reflections.
That's
we probably got another scoop or two. I'm making sure that Kelly isn't opening that door to run over and tackle me before I give another thing here. Season 22. Oh, we can say Season of the Witch now. Season of the Witch.
Yep. That's right.
Today is coming out with a thing that we sort of call like the main quest update. This is an update to your quest page.
Okay.
Where we're like taking over that front page and saying, hey, this is the big quest. And here's another quest that's important. And so we think super important for our new players that get inundated with a ton of content to go see. And they're like, wow, what are my friends focused on? Can I make sure that's out? This is great for them. It's also great for people that are already playing Destiny and the like, okay, I finished day 1 of the final shape. And you're like, I got a lot of, which ones are the important ones, right? Which ones are first? And so there's a group of, a big group of developers here who are always looking and saying, okay, what's the next pain point for Destiny players?
Sure.
And so we're really excited about Fireteam Power. I think it's going to both be a way that for engaged Destiny players to still really care about getting their power up and their light up, but also allow, I've got friends that haven't played Destiny in a while, and I would love to just say to them, hey, just get in the game. Whatever guns you have, you're going to group up with me. We're going to do the dungeon.
Yep.
We're going to go play PvP. We're going to go do this thing, and you're going to be able to enjoy yourself. And there's still this incentive for them, like, okay, well, I'd rather be not 5 under Joe's power and seeing him beat me on the damage tables, right? Like, let's get, let's clear that gap. But for a bunch of people that want to come back and play with their friends, I think we're doing a lot here. We're excited about Fireteam Finder as well. Like, I think there's going to be this whole new influx of Guardians in season 23. They're going to go be like, Last Wish. So what's that all about, right? Like, I've heard some things. There's a dragon there. Let's go. Let's just go check that out. And I think it's a big precursor to what we want Destiny to be. We want to stop hiding our best content by a bunch of walls behind people and say, no, come in here, experience this. There's a lot to chase.
Yeah.
Even
That's actually a good idea.
So let's make it easier to access the content.
Yeah, that's the biggest thing for me. Is just that, like, I want an experience for Guardians between Fireteam Finder and Fireteam Power, and where you can come into the game and be like, I heard that's the best content in the game. I want to be able to go play it, and be able to go play it. Right?
Are you this tall? Sorry.
Yeah, you can't ride the ride. Exactly. Like, I feel called out. But in all seriousness, like, that's the goal behind all these systems. And I think Joe painted a really good picture of why it's still important for the really, top end players to really want to go and keep themselves as high end and have all the weapons and all that stuff, even for that content. But give those other players the ability to try it, because I think that's where Destiny's at its best, is in some of those.
And we didn't talk a bunch about this, but we know that Guardian Ranks has done a bunch for our new players this year in helping them get through and onboard the systems. But Guardian Ranks wasn't able to solve, like, okay, I understand what a mod is, but who are these people? Who are the Hive? Who is Cade 6? Everyone keeps talking about Cade 6. And so Time on Reflections, we're not going to put Bife out of business anytime soon, but getting that experience in-game to be able to go, look, hey, I want to go to the timeline. I want to read a thing. I can watch a thing. Oh, and then I can play a thing, right? Like, it's one thing to hear about Cade. It's another thing to play with Cade.
Right.
And I think that for, a bunch of our new players, it's going to be an exciting way to experience some content. And I think even some of our older players are just going to be like, you know what I want to go do today?
A little nostalgia.
I want to go hang out with Cade 6 in a prison.
That's right.
I like it. So can you kind of explain how Fireteam Power works for us?
Yeah, so there's 2 ways that we're really thinking about power in Final Shape and beyond. One is what we're calling power fixed activities. And so this is stuff like free roam destination, the regular strikes queue, the base power of an exotic mission, right? Which we're really excited. Like, we want to build more Seraph Shields. We want to build more Presages. And so for a bunch of this, we're going to say, even if you don't have a friend, right, go into this, bring whatever you want. We've adjusted the difficulty for it to just feel good to play, right? And so we know you want to go around the destination and be able to one-shot dregs with the hand cannon. We also want the destination to put up a little bit of resistance and to feel like maybe I can't be shot by 15 dregs. And so, like, we're dialing in that power, but we're saying, okay, this is a great, like, base experience. For the story of Final Shape, that experience is power fixed. So you're going to get power upgrades, but you don't have to equip them, right?
Right.
Then, post that, we're saying, hey, we've got a bunch of power-enabled activities, too. This is aspirational stuff. The raid, the dungeon, trials, right? For this, say, okay, I care about power. And so we've got an employee that we like to pick on here, a guy by the name of Matt Noguchi, who is a very hardcore Destiny player. I think that I'm a hardcore Destiny player, and then I look at my friends list, I'm like, how is his pass level this high, right? Like, and so we still want to say, hey, you feel like you're rewarded and engaged, but you can go into Nightfall and let's say, hey, you've been out across the world doing good deeds. You weren't able to play Destiny for the last 3 months. You come back and say, I like Destiny, but what I really like are dungeons, really like are raids. Okay, get in Matt Noguchi's fire team. Anyone that's in, a pre-made fire team, whether you made this fire team in Fireteam Finder or whether you made it from your friends list, it's going to look at, say, who's the highest fire team, like who's the highest power level, and then it's going to take that and say, we're dialing the numbers. I think right now it's 5. It might be 3. I say, okay, everyone in here, 5 below, no matter what. Now, if you're closer than that, great, we're gonna respect your power. But no matter what guns you have, no matter what armor you have, we're gonna say, hey, we're gonna take this all up. And so you don't have to worry about, hey, I don't have the new stuff that I need. Instead, we're like, hey, go play the raid and then go get the new really good raid weapons, right? Like that's the thing we want you to be caring about. Not that you can't step in the content at all, right? Focus on the optimization, not on the requirement.
So I can load in with the green loadout?
You want to. I mean, listen, I put on some armor that can't take resistance mods, and that's a bold choice.
But doable.
But doable, yeah. We will not. So I'm sure we'll see some wacky raid
Interesting.
players that are like, I did it all in the Broken Parade set, and they're like, you certainly did.
That sucks for you.
Yeah.
What about with trials? It's like the one kind of like PvP the thing that
yeah. So we know there are some important reasons to keep power on in trials, and really try to keep that a fair playing field. And so right now it's power enabled, and we're going to have a switch where we're going to say, hey, we're going to test out Fireteam power in this, because one, we want to make sure that we keep that experience in a good spot. Two, like it is an experience where I've got this friend Shane, and he is a master with Golden Gun, but he plays Destiny off and on. I would love to be able to say, Shane, we're playing trials this weekend, and I know you haven't played in a while. Please just put the client back on, get inside, and him just be able to go, and I'll have better weapons, I'll have better armor, but he's still gonna pop Golden Gun and get us 2 kills every time. And so I think we do want to still have that, experience for even at the high end of PvP. We just want to make sure we do it right. And so it is something that we are walking in carefully and saying, okay, we're going to try this. We're going to test it. If it doesn't work, we're going to find a different solution.
Yeah, and specifically, we're going to we want us to have room to experiment. And so I think Joe's right, where we'll start off with it power enabled sometime during the episode. We'll flip that switch and we'll communicate that out, and we'll make sure everyone's aware that it's coming, and we'll see how it goes. And if it goes really well, we'll figure out what to do with that next. And if it doesn't, we'll figure out if there's something else we need to try differently. But yeah, so I'm excited to see if it gets more variety of players into trials and more people who didn't feel like they could do it before give it a go, which would be interesting.
That sounds great. So kind of on that note, the in-game LFG has been an ask for a long time. Can we talk about the Fireteam Finder experience a little bit more?
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is probably, I'm a big LFG user. Like when someone's like, Joe, we want to raid this time, this day. I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing that time, that day. My desired raid experience is that I log in and I say, I have, an hour, I have 2 hours, and I'm like, I want to raid right now. So I'll go to my friends list, and if I don't have friends on to play with, I will go to one of the community-run LFGs. And there are so many great services out there that do this.
Right.
But for a bunch of players, they don't understand that exists. They don't have access to this. It can be a pretty big hurdle to just be like, hey, I'm just looking to do the legend version of this activity. I wish I could just go in game and say, I'm not quite comfortable with match-made people, but if I can get you in a group with me and we can talk about it, can we make that fast? Can we make that so I just like, hey, what do I want to do? Okay, I want to do the new seasonal activity. I want to do it legend. And you can pick, even at this stage, you can say, just give me people and we'll go right away. Right? I'll take the random draw. You can also say, no. Give me people and I want to be able to approve or deny them when they come in. They
I
say,
like that.
Is someone you want? Okay, yeah.
I'll look at their stats and
we're going to wait until we get the people that we want. And so it's really about striking this balance of both being customizable for folks that are like, I'd like to do a teaching run. I'm a guide player. I want to teach people how to do Last Wish. And also sometimes we have players that like, I've got 45 minutes to do Ghost of the Deep. I do not want to teach right now, right? And so I can go
just
in there and say, hey,
enjoy
I'm
myself.
this Guardian rank. I'm looking for people that are experienced and want to go fast. And we know that we need to build a looking for group tool that can do both of those things. And so it's a big step. These systems are very challenging, and I think we're going to learn a lot about when it's coming out. That's why we're like, This is coming out in season 23.
Yes.
And we are going to get people looking at this, playing this, and we're going to figure out, what happens when the community gets it in their hands and really make sure that we're in a good shape for when people are using this tool to do Final Shape content.
Yeah, and I think to Joe's point from the beginning, it really democratizes some of that like Pinnacle experience, right? Like new players don't know to go out of the game and look for these really legitimately good community services. But like,
True.
I think a lot of players stay contained to what's inside of the client, and we want to make sure that those players can have the same grouping experience as
That's
the core
true.
fans have learned how to
LFG
do it.
has only been available in
Just to nerd out
other
about this
areas.
a little bit more.
That's what I'm here for.
There's like 2 ways to enter into the Fire Team Finder flow. There might actually be a few more. Like one, there's like I'm gonna go select Fire Team Finder from my roster, and you're gonna go into there and you're gonna see okay, do I want to do raids? You're gonna pick through this whole flow. There's another way. If you like go click on a raid or a thing which you could have with other people, in the roster where you see where all the emblems go.
Yeah.
It'll have your emblem, right? Oh, I'm in my fire team, and then the next one will just be like, hey, do you want to use Fire Team Finder for this? And you just click on that button, and it'll be like, here you go, right? Like
That's handy.
And so we think this is just going to expose a bunch of people to content and get them in.
Yeah.
Like I'm excited to get more, Guardian rank 7s into Guardian rank 8s and expose some of our great content to more people.
And making friends.
Yeah.
Along the way, maybe. If you want.
Yeah, and it only has 45 minutes.
Yeah.
Listen, we don't have time to chat here.
Yeah, it's great that we're like setting this up as additive too. So like you said, we're not gonna like go out and take down any of these LFG sites that exist. Like you're welcome to still do it that way if you've built communities that you're comfortable with. Yep. This is gonna be another like direction for players.
Absolutely.
Yep. So what does this mean for guided games? Is it time?
I think the guided games beta, might eventually be coming to an end, and so I think we want to make sure we do this in the right way. I know there's some emblems and things that are connected to that, but we really see Fire Team Finder as just the fully fledged version of how to find a group, and so. This is definitely the future for finding groups, and we think it's going to solve a bunch of problems. Like, hey, can I make sure that I'm finding people with the same desires as me, and a bunch of things that really guided games couldn't do. And so, definitely in the future, we don't want people being like, oh, how should I get into a group? Should I go on guided games? Like, no, go to Fire Team Finder.
Go get those rewards while they last.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So Joe, this is for you. You mentioned in your video on Twitter last week, in the reveal, we wouldn't be talking about a Strange Coin and Xur revamp or the rework of the HUD. Here we are in the post-show. Surprise.
Wow.
Can you say anything about those things?
I feel like I have a lot more makeup on than I had in my office last week. Okay. I don't want to spoil too much here. I think starting with Strange Coins.
Okay.
We want to do 2 things here. One, we want to make Xur a really exciting experience, right? And Xur has felt this presence for our most regular players. Like, what Xur got on the weekend? I think we still have that for newer players. They're like, oh, I gotta go to Xur. Like, we've lost it with our people that play Destiny every week. And so I think one, it's putting Xur back into this. Like, you're gonna be excited about what Xur is selling this week.
That's very true.
2, it's like going back to Strange Coins, right? Like this feeling of, hey, I'm doing ritual stuff in Destiny, strikes, PvP. I'm getting these coins, and I'm like, what am I going to spend them on? And so this is also about, making some of our ritual content rewarding. It's optional. Pick what you want to do. Play Gambit, play Strikes, play Crucible. But you're going to do that, and you're going to get something, and you're like, hey, how's my Strange Coin purse looking, right? Like, and then when's Xur coming? Because certainly a lot of Guardians were caught by surprise early in Destiny's life cycle of, is that really worth my Strange Coins? And they
I remember that.
regret that moment. And so, maybe a little bit of that coming back wouldn't be a bad thing.
That's good.
Oh, HUD? Was that the other one?
Yeah.
I think, to talk, sort of zoom out and talk about HUD. For our players that go really into build crafting and go into some really tricky activities, there's gonna be this moment where you look on the left-hand side of your screen, like, oh, there's a lot of text there, And it's important and it's hard to parse. And this is the thing that we're like, hey, we've just got to make this more clear. And so really this update is about moving some of that stuff around the HUD to better locations to make it more clear, hey, what's coming from my Guardian, what's coming from the environment or from enemies, and making sure that the important stuff stays on screen, right? And you're
like Unstable Life.
Like, yeah, like Unstable Life.
Yes,
Yeah.
it is.
Yeah, I mean, I'm constantly like, how many armor charges do I have, right? Like, oh, how much time do I have left before I die, right? And you're like, let's sort of start getting that information in the right places.
Seems important.
Yeah.
So there's been some fans wondering, like, as we expand out, start working on new projects, become a true multi-IP studio, there's worry that those teams may take away resources that were meant for Destiny. Like, what are we doing as a studio to like take on this challenge?
Yeah, no, I appreciate this question. So, like, there's a couple things we need to understand, right? Like, Joe and I have been talking for a while now about just how much stuff is coming after the final shape, and all the work going into episodes, and potentially more beats later next year. And like, we still have a great, talented team working on all of those things. We, when we start up new projects, we're deliberate about who moves over and who stays behind, things like that. And really from there start hiring more people to try and work these things out. I mean, Bungie itself has increased in size as we've expanded and started working on more projects. That is because we are bringing in folks to make sure that we can expand out while still maintaining the work that we already have. And so, like, if you just look at what's coming down the pipe with all the work, all the stuff coming from episodes, beats down the line, all the work in the live game that Joe's been talking about, we still have a really hungry and talented team with a mixture of veterans and new folks, which is always the case, who are coming in to, just keep moving Destiny forward and keep it fresh. So I think strategically, like, it's always a challenge when you're at any kind of scale. But I'm very impressed, and have been for the years I've been here, with the way that we bring in talent and the type of talent that comes and wants to work on Destiny. And I think there's even some areas where we've seen that fresh talent has brought some of the new exciting stuff you've been talking about.
Yeah, I mean, here's some personal stuff. I didn't start on Destiny until right after The Dark Below shipped.
Yeah.
I had not made a first-person shooter before. I had came from like the MMO sphere of game design. There are people that are working on Destiny to this day that taught me how to place a monster and it feel good for a first-person shooter. And like, there's a Jason Jones video that you watch when you start, right? There's like, hey, a senior activity designer pulls you into a room. We still have so much of this like really legacy talent on the Destiny 2 team. But I think the thing that always surprises me is time flies. You'll be like, oh, this is this person that's new to the studio. And they're actually like, I've been here for 3 years and I'm like a god in the tools now. And you're like, oh, whoa, you are, right? And then suddenly they're the person that's pulling someone to a room and be like, let me teach you how to make a first-person shooter. It's really awesome to see that talent grow at Bungie. And I think what's really important is we still, in the studio, on the team, have all these people that carry this legacy knowledge, and we are spreading it and propagating it. Sometimes not just to Bungie, sometimes to the rest of the games industry. And that's a really great culture to be a part of.
It is. And like, I mean, just recently I was in a playtest where, this is no joke, like we had a smattering of folks who were in their first week. Like, part of their first week was to be in this Final Shape playtest. Cool. And also in the same room were 2 20-plus year Bungie veterans who have been on Destiny from the jump, right? And so it's just, I know that like it's probably hard to wrap your head around if you're not on the inside, and I don't want to start like naming names of people and whatnot, but like, it's just, I think the mix of, to Joe's point, of that like veteran savvy and new fresh ideas, new hunger for different parts of the game. I think it's just a really cool culture, to Joe's point, and I think it does really good things for the game over time.
I love that. Well, this next question is completely unrelated, but
I love it.
But it's important. So the new supers.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
The new super.
Great transition. There are some new supers shown off that look spectacular. I noticed that the Warlock super looks like it took a lot of inspiration from Radiance. Well, he does say that in the video, but it looks really similar. How's it going to be different?
Yeah,
No, I want to know what's
let's
similar.
be, like,
Do we
super candid.
get a
Warlocks are
self-res?
probably watching this right now, and they're saying, Joe, aren't people just going to ask me to run well? Like, you keep giving me new supers, right? Aren't people going to ask me to run well? And so
Yeah.
I think, one,
Why don't we have a
that's
well?
an issue, and we're solving it in a bunch of ways. Like, maybe there's a support auto rifle solution to this problem. Maybe there's some different ways that we balance things that are going to be making this. But we know that for Warlocks, hey, the bar to clear here is, can I equip this in high-end content? And so a bunch has even happened since we've been recording. Here are the two things I think are really surprising about the Warlock super. Okay, I'm gonna add a third.
Okay.
One, let's rip the Band-Aid off right away. We did not want to bring forward self-res, right?
Yes.
Like, in an effort
Yeah,
where, like, hey,
I
we
knew.
want to get the competitive aspect of Destiny to an awesome place. Like, one thing I think was not going to help us do that is self-res. It's going to be a really frustrating thing to fight against.
I really miss having to stand next to a ghost during the trials.
Yeah. Scope right there, right? Like, I don't know, is he going to do it? So if this super isn't about self-res, what's it about? That's what we said. Okay.
What's it about?
First, we love this first-person guns out experience. It's a really exciting thing if we do it well. And so, one, even if you don't have anyone around you, this new super is like a DPS machine, right? And so it provides that in a few ways. One, throwing a bird grenade at somebody does a lot of damage. Two, you equip the right melee. Again, you're gonna just want to using those on cooldown. I think the sneaky one here, and it's not just for you, it's also for your allies, is, hey, we're gonna let you put Scorch, not just on your weapon, but on your allies' weapon. And we've actually internally been like, okay, which weapons or which damage types get this debuff? And we're playing with that right now, or that buff. The amount of damage increase that you can put out from everyone on your fire team constantly causing explosions, it's high. And so, again, we talk about with all these supers, like, how do they fit into the meta? How do we get them to a point? And, for some, it's going to be like, hey, we want this to be a PvP all-star.
Right.
Some we're like, hey, we think it can do both. But really, the where we're at in the phase right now is saying, hey, how can players not just be excited that it's fun? Like, we're really good at it.
Where's the fun?
But that's the baseline. The real goal has to be like, I want to use this thing. And so, yeah, Warlocks getting spices added to it right now. We're dialing in, but yeah, we're really excited with
Is Bird Grenade the shipping name?
Yeah. You can probably see that on the website somewhere right now. There's probably like, then Bird Grenade.
Bird Grenade, I like it. Similar beat then the Hunter super looks a lot like Blade Dancer. Or Arcblade, Blade Dancer.
Yeah, I think sort of we wanted to do, we talked about this like Destiny extract. Right? I'm like, okay. I remember when D2 was coming out and we first showed the supers, that there was this really funny piece of fan art where everyone was talking about their new supers, and Hunter was a pole with two daggers on the end, and they're like, I got a new super too. And so we weren't like, okay, we know Blade Dancer's iconic, but like Arcstrider and Blade Dancer, pretty similar.
Right.
And so it came, I was like, okay, we still like missing this beat. And I can remember the first time we saw it, it's like, what do you do? It's like, you throw the blade across the map, you teleport to where the blade is, and you spin, and then you have two more charges of that, right? And so we're pretty confident, again, in the super. Where's it going to be good? It's going to be good when you've got a boss that you can
All right, if this doesn't wrap up shortly, here in about 15, we'll
Crucible, right? Like Shaq
switch over to opening night live, Gamescom
right now,
coverage.
And I think what we're really like,
But I don't think they would go over.
and also not be the most oppressive.
I don't think they
thing
want
that's ever
to
shipped.
overlap with
And so
Gamescom.
confident in that one, spicy, right? Like, and so really now it's like, how
Or
many
compete.
peppers spicy should the super be? But yeah, I think so many of our shotgun and hand cannon hunters are like, another way to get across the map, right?
And invisible.
Can I? This is cheating.
Oh.
Because we said it was a super question. Aspects too. I'm not sure if I'm.
I'll allow it.
Oh, you can't do that.
Yeah. The hunter aspect. We showed this, and it's like this cyclone in
Yes.
the air.
Yeah.
The two things that are exciting. One, it's like cool to give everyone amplified and cool to create a lightning strike below you.
Yeah, I like
it's
that.
It's also just another jump. Like, and if you know about build crafting, you're like, is there anything that would give me another charge of this? And then suddenly you're looking at a hunter and they're like, how many jumps are they doing in a row? And I think if there's one class that wants to be degenerate with jumping around,
couldn't be hunter.
we pick the right one.
Solid call.
So if you struggle with the jumping puzzles, you can put this aspect on and just have
That's me.
extra. Yeah.
That's my clan. It's like, oh, Pika, you need that. On a different beat, the Titan one looks completely different than what we've seen. So you throw a bunch of axes, your fire team can pick them up. How long do these last? Like, this could be a problem too.
Yeah, I think the thing that we've heard really loud and clear is like, hey, Titans, they have a lot of roaming melee punching supers, which is cool. It's the Titan fantasy. I roam, I melee, right? Like, these are the things I was promised on the character screen. You know, when we were putting together the video for the first time and you show a Titan cleaving with axes, or like some Titan is watching this and like, Bungie never listens to me. It's another one, right? I just have an axe this time. And so I think the team did a really great job of both saying, okay, we want to make something different. Range, one-off. That's where it
And that
starts,
Celestial
right? Like,
Nighthawk
axes.
helmet looks
like, I think we can still do the fantasy on the other end, right? Like, throw the things and then, pick them up and beat up things. And so, like, for this, right, like, we think about it, high-end PvE, just hitting a thing with the axe does a ton of damage. If you're, like, fighting Oryx, and you're like, I'm not going to be able to go get these axes, Oryx hangs out over in space, right? You're like, still pretty good to throw an axe at Oryx and do a bunch of damage.
Okay.
The rest is sort of gravy, right? And so this is, you know, you're thinking about something in a strike, you're like picking up the axe and going with it. Pika, we were talking about PvP with this, and so I
Some
think
kind of combo play of
I
picked it up, I killed 4 more people. It was crazy.
Yeah, because I think you can pick how you want to deploy a super like this. You can say, hey, everyone's playing way back. I'm just going to toss axes. They have this gravitational pull.
Yeah.
But you got
toss that on a zone.
Yeah.
Throw people on it.
And if you get to the end, you're like, I've tossed 2 of my axes, and you're like, I don't want to run for this. You can just toss the 3rd one at your feet, and then pick up the axe and be like, all right, super's still going, right? and go try to chase some people down with an axe. So I'm pretty excited to see how people make some plays with that thing.
You asked at the top what we're most excited about, and I think Joe just gave a better explanation than me as to why supers are like they're gonna be in all aspects of the game. Like, that's one of the things that I'm really into with this group of supers is, like, you're not just gonna see them in PvE or high-end PvE. They're gonna be in PvP. And I think for all 3 classes, I think all 3 of them bring pieces to the table that will get some pretty broad play, and I think that's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's it's a focused offering here, but we're doing that with intention. We're saying, like, hey, we're gonna make a really sharp knife here, and how we're doing that, like, it's super shaped, right? Like, so I'm pretty excited about what the team's doing.
Yeah.
I see we've really thrown our hosts here for a loop. They're shuffling their cards, they're pointing at questions. They're like, these people just talk about whatever they want to talk about.
Right. So I think we're actually going a little long.
Yeah, so we're going to skip ahead a little bit, but I want to hit this beat.
Fair.
Just talking a little too much.
I have gotten that feedback before.
So I think we're still supposed to talk about Crota, or just go to closing.
Yeah, I just want to verify that in that asset that was the spiky armor that we're getting.
That was for Cosmo. Cosmo wanted to just be sure.
I just want to be sure.
That the armor for Crota that we saw.
And I know we're going long. You get 2 Crota things. One, you get spiky, glowy armor. I think that again, the community has been very loud and clear on what Crota armor do we want? The spiky green one. 2, I think that we didn't talk about is we're using contest mode of Crota's End to do some experiments with, hey, how hard should a Raids World First be? So I bet you'll see this coming out, but we're gonna, like, just take the knob and say, hey, it's really important for our Raid World First base to be these aspirational, feels like the Destiny Super Bowl. We know that's how it has to be in Final Shape. Well, great, because we've got our raid coming out here in 2 weeks. Let's make sure that one, like, let's start dialing the knobs and see where we need to put it.
Yeah. Amazing.
So yeah, we got some gameplay coming up. We want to get to that. Yeah, we've talked about a bunch of awesome features, content coming to Destiny. Dan, what's the best way for like players, new or old, to like jump back in and start playing?
Yeah, I mean, and I'll try to be brief since we are running long. But like, this is just the same theme that we've been talking about, which is we're just trying to make the game more accessible to more players. And, you know, all of the Fireteam Power, Fireteam Finder, all that plays into that. But for new players, I think a lot of teams will want to run through pinnacle content from other expansions, things like that. So there's a lot of ways over the next week or so where people can kind of get in on a good deal. So for example, the Witch Queen is actually going to be free for this entire weekend. I think it's the 24th, the 27th. Somebody can check me on that. On your platform of choice.
I love that one.
Amazing.
Yeah, I do love that one. In addition, even right now, Witch Queen is available on PlayStation Plus game catalog, and so you can access it that way as well. And then last but not least, through someone check me on this, through I believe September 5th, we're going to be running a bunch of discounts on all of our previous expansions, anywhere from 50 to 67% off.
Dang.
Most notably, though, is our most recent Lightfall. Both the base and the annual pass are going to be 50% off through the 5th. I think starting right now. So all of those are really like great ways for new players to kind of get in and experience some of our more recent and high-end content.
Go get Strand.
Yeah. Go get Strand.
Go get it. That's good.
And we have a recap article that's going live soon. It's going to have all these details.
So you can fact check me.
We can fact check Dan and tell him, how he did.
Is there anything else anyone would like to add?
Yeah. One last thing I wanted to mention. The Bungie Foundation has created shirts to help raise money to support the communities impacted by the wildfires in Lahaina, Hawaii. 100% of profits will go to our longtime partner, Direct Relief, who is delivering life-saving emergency medical kits and aiding in search and rescue operations. So if you like these shirts or just want to help out, you can click the link in chat. There's a QR code below, and you can purchase one. We've already sold 11,000, and we really appreciate everyone supporting this cause. Also, anyone who subscribes to our Bungie Twitch account right now, we will be donating all profits to Direct Relief from those subscriptions as well. So smash that subscribe button.
Smash it. Well, this has been a blast. Thank you so much for sharing more info on Destiny's future with us. There is a lot to look forward to. We're going to take a short break, though, and then when we get back, I'll be teaming up with Taylor and Andy from Bungie to play through some of the season of the Witch content. So stick around.
All right. I think
the witness poses a dire
probably wrap it up here. I'll just see if anything new comes through right here. Because we're going to do our Gamescom opening night live coverage. And that should only be an hour or so. I don't think it'll be too long.
You come back from this. Do not be afraid.
They gotta give us some armor like that.
You now wield hive magic and have entwined it with your light. Assault the Spire Guardian and open the way to our tides.
Let them know fear.
The death of whispers, and they do whisper. Fight in my name, Guardian. Every opponent you defeat strengthens me.
My appetite rises for your brutal tribute.
Let us show her what it is to be Hive.
You have flouted the horn of battle! You are deserving of the greatest death I can bestow.
August through
Hey everyone,
November
welcome back. It was so great to hear about
28th.
the final shape and the future of
A
Destiny 2.
long
But now, let's dive into the new
man.
Season of the Witch content. Joining my fire team is Pika and Andy from Bungie. Let's jump in.
Awesome. Taylor, welcome to the fire team. Good to see you.
Letting it all.
we just get to hang out and play video games today. It's not the worst.
This is the best part.
But yeah, time to get some Season of the Witch on, which also, too, for anyone watching at home, you can play right now from the comfort of your own home. We're playing
Cool.
from the comfort of Bungie.
We'll definitely check it out later.
Wherever you have snacks available.
But once again, thank you all for watching. I hope you guys have enjoyed our Destiny 2 The Final Shape and kind of the upcoming seasonal coverage. I'm going to get set up for opening night live, the Gamescom stuff, so we'll be live with that in just a moment. We'll see you shortly.